Whether he's going to bowl very much, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. In terms of Surrey, one change there as well. Mark was just telling us Jordan Clark is out, so Worrell comes in.
Yeah.
Not quite at their strength, but they've got so many players, but they're all away playing for their country in various different competitions, aren't they? I mean, it's a whole Roy, Curran, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, Roy, Curran, Topley, none of those are playing tonight, but in their place, it's still a really, really strong Surrey side. And Churchy, I'm sure, will tell us in a moment that if they can go through, I mean, I don't know if it's ever happened that a side has gone all the way through the group stages without getting beaten. None spring to mind, but they're going great guns. And of course, led by Chris Jordan, who for so many years down here was such a wonderful player. Great to see Chris again. And from a Sussex perspective, it's just a shame that Sussex couldn't hang on to him, really.
Yeah, and he's gone back to Surrey.
He has, back to the Oval.
Hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he'll get a really good reception here. And,
he will.
He's been a great servant, hasn't he, to the county. And actually, I think we'll talk more with Churchy about the job he's done as captain, because I think it's been really, really excellent. A return to Hove for Rashid Khan. He hasn't played here yet. He'll be wanting to put on a bit of a show. We saw all those fans, didn't we, around him after the game at Glamorgan, but he could be crucial tonight with bat and ball potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those two games last week, Johnny, against Essex and Glamorgan, he no sooner stepped off a plane. Now, I know these internationals are used to that, but it takes a bit of getting used to, I think. We haven't seen the best of him. He'll relish it, and he was very relaxed after the game on Sunday and said, well, I'm just going to enjoy these next few games. So we could see the best of him tonight. And we haven't seen the best of him with the bat either, because he's a fine T20 player as well, Johnny. So that's going to be exciting.
The toss you mentioned, Surrey winning the toss and deciding to bowl. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of sides like to chase under the lights when it gets a bit dewy. That seems to be the common consensus. I don't know whether Surrey as a team prefer chasing. It doesn't seem to matter what Surrey do. They just seem to win. They seem to win. So I could think, but beautiful conditions, Johnny, barely a cloud in the sky. It should be an absolutely cracking game. The only thing I would say is, I know there's a train strike today, and that's a shame, but there's a lot of empty seats at the minute, particularly at the Cromwell Road end in the temporary stands, and that's a real shame if people haven't been able to get here, because what an evening. Surrey, Sussex, always a little bit of needle in the game, and it should be a terrific game of cricket.
Yeah, it was a great game, wasn't it, up at the Oval? I mean, Surrey were dominant, weren't they? But I think it's always a good rivalry. It's a strong, healthy rivalry.
Yeah, I think it is
between these two counties, isn't it? And of course, there is another player in there that we haven't mentioned. That's Laurie Evans.
Yeah,
it didn't quite work out for him down here, and I wouldn't say he left in sort of under a cloud, but I think he was disappointed he didn't get more opportunities in different competitions. So maybe a point to prove for him.
I think probably very much so, to be honest. I think
not a point to prove. Actually, that's probably the wrong point. But maybe send a message back to Sussex.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Say, this is what you could have won.
I don't think Laurie would have wanted it to have ended the way that it did end. I think that's fair to say. But he's gone to the Oval. He's done really well. I think he was the player of the tournament in the Big Bash last year, or certainly up there as one of the players of the tournament. So he's been in terrific form. He's forced himself into contention as well. So you'd have to say the move has worked out really, really well for Laurie, and I'm sure he'll be keen to get runs here tonight, Johnny.
Okay, well, we're just about waiting for the teams to come out here, so I'll hand over to our commentary team and get in the man on the mic who knows everything there is to know about Surrey cricket, and he'll give us the insight not only on Chris Jordan's captaincy, on Laurie Evans's form, and also what a talent that Will Jacks is as well, and that's Mark Church, who'll be taking you through with myself, Johnny Cantor and Adrian Harms, right through the innings, starting off with Sussex Surrey winning the toss and deciding to bowl. So before they come out, I'll hand you over first to Adrian. He'll be joined with Mark Church, and I'll be joining in with the commentary team after around 5 overs, just as he come to the end of the power play.
Thanks, Johnny. Sorry, I was going to go and put the kettle on to a because they're just about to come out down the steps. But Church is with us. Churchy, good to see you. You look as if you've been to Barbados, which is very depressing.
Well, I got here quite early as usual. Do you know what I did this afternoon, which I really enjoyed? This is rock and roll from me. I sat on Hove seafront with a cup of coffee, watching the buses go by, and I never realised that all the buses have names.
They do.
And I was desperately waiting for Tony Gregg or Lord Ted Dexter to go, but they never did.
Right.
So I sat there for 2 hours. I saw a few names I recognised, but no, I enjoyed that. But yes, so that's why I'm looking slightly rouge at the moment. It's because I sat in the sun for most of today.
You look very well, so it's great to see you. And I have to say, what else looks great? I mean, we love coming to the cricket ground. We come all the time. Sadly, Surrey don't come here too much because we're not in the same division division in the county championship, but Hove looks great on a night like tonight.
Well, you know full well this is where I grew up and where I played a bit of cricket, and I absolutely adore this place. I really do. And on a night like tonight, there's nowhere better. It's absolutely fantastic. I think probably what you're seeing here with the crowd is how many Surrey fans have been able to get here is I don't know, because there are no trains.
Yeah.
So trying to get here is quite difficult, really, obviously, if you don't drive. So that might be one of the reasons. But no, expecting a good game, as you've been saying. Surrey unbeaten in this, got themselves over the line against Somerset. Sussex, there's some talent in there, and I can't wait to watch Mr. Rizwan have a bat. But yeah, the way that Surrey go about it, I was doing a few stats whilst I was watching the buses go by as well, and they bowled first in the last 4 games where they've won the toss. So they like to bowl first, have a target, and then chase. And as Johnny was saying, that the one change for Surrey is poor old Jordan Clark went down with what looked like a side strain bowling on whenever it was Thursday night, or what are we tonight? Tuesday night. So he's not available. Dan Worrell comes in for him, and as you were saying, a few of the England boys are away at the moment, and of course Kyron Pollard's out for the rest of the competition, which is a real shame for the competition, not just Surrey, but for the entire competition.
Well, the man leading Surrey out is a man we know very well down here at Hove, who's Chris Jordan. I guess from Chris's career, it was probably always likely he'd finish up back at the Oval, but he was such a wonderful ambassador down here, such a lovely man as well, wonderful human being, just a great guy to talk to. He always struck me, Chris, as having a really good cricket brain, Church, and I would imagine he's absolutely key to Surrey in this to the success so far this year.
His captaincy has been one of the major reasons why Surrey have won 8 out of 9. He has been outstanding, and the way he uses his bowlers is so clever, so clever. Yeah, I always thought there was a chance that Mr. Jordan might come back to Surrey. I remember watching his first class debut all those years ago at Canterbury, and everybody sort of sitting there saying, who's this kid? And then came to Sussex, wonderful career here, obviously England as well, and back to captain Surrey in the T20. And as I say, he's been captaining exceptionally well, and just the way he uses his bowlers is just all experience really in this form of the game.
Well, this is a change up top for Sussex, because Mohammad Rizwan is opening, but in the absence of Luke Wright, it's Harrison Ward, the left-hander, who's going to open the batting. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be Moriarty who's going to open the bowling from the C end of the ground. 2 men outside the circle, both of those on the leg side, a deep mid-wicket and a long on. And in comes Moriarty, left arm over the wicket and flicked by Ward through the onside. He picks up a single. He is on his way. And Sussex are 1 without loss here. BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio Surrey, BBC Radio London as well, I guess.
Indeed, they're with us.
And thanks very much for tuning in and listening. If you're watching via the live stream from Sussex County Cricket Club, a warm welcome to you as well on the most perfect evening for cricket here at Hove. The floodlights are on. They don't need to be because the sun's out. Lovely blue sky. And Mohammad Rizwan, who I know Churchy is desperately looking forward to watching batting.
Yes.
Taking strike to Moriarty. Now, one thing Mohammad Rizwan has been doing, he's got this shot that he flicks the ball back to the square on the leg side. He was out doing that at the weekend against Glamorgan. Let's see if he does it again. In he comes Moriarty and bowls, and forward comes Rizwan, plays it to short extra, and there is no run.
Great spot from you, and that's what I'm saying about Chris Jordan. I've been banging on about franchise cricket. He has made sure that Dan Worrell is in exactly that position for Mohammad Rizwan.
Moriarty around the wicket, in and bowls, and Rizwan plays this onto the onside, and he picks up a single. Does Mohammad Rizwan, so 2 without loss after 3 balls. Has Moriarty been playing in every game?
No, he's played the last 2. He's bowled at the top in the last 2 as well. And he's a very experienced T20 bowler these days, Dan Moriarty. Very good T20 bowler as well.
He's coming in around the wicket to bowl to the left-handed Harrison Ward. He's in and bowls, and Ward flicks this comfortably through mid-wicket, picks up another single. And Ward goes to 2, and Sussex 3 without loss.
What you were saying there was very interesting. Worrell sort of headed out towards the scoreboard, and then Jordan stopped him and got him exactly what you were talking about. And he's watching him now,
he's watching him like a hawk, isn't he?
Making sure he's in exactly the right spot for Rizwan behind square on the leg side.
Moriarty in bowl. There he goes. He was looking for that shot. The ball hit the pad and bounced out into the offside, and there is no run. Good bit of bowling by Moriarty.
Bit of bounce as well, which is interesting. Bit of bounce on Rizwan there as he looked to sweep. Wearing number 116, you have to be good if you're wearing a number that big.
Well, I'll tell you the reason for that in a minute, as in comes Moriarty again. He just waits. In fact, he wants to change things around. He wants his long off to come up inside the circle, and Chris Jordan, who's long on, has gone down below us as Chris Jordan. As in comes Moriarty, bowls, and Rizwan pulls, and he's going to get 4 runs. Well, he sweeps, really. Down in that favoured areas of his, and he picked up a boundary off the last ball of the over. So the end of the opening over, and the Sussex Sharks are 7 without loss. The scoreboard will be back with this in a minute. Rizwan on 5 and Harrison Ward on 2.
Yeah, nicely played by Rizwan. He knew Worrell was out there, and he's gone very fine on that sweep shot. Again, a little bit of bounce for Dan Moriarty, but went very, very fine on that, did Rizwan. I'm hoping he makes runs. I've got number of things that I like coming to Hove for, but Rizwan getting ones would be one of them. I've really wanted to watch this fella bat. It's like with Narain as well.
Yeah,
it's like I was so excited to see him bowl, and he's been unbelievable. And I'd love to watch Rizwan have a bat tonight. I really would, because he's an exceptional player. He really is. It's going to be Dan Worrell from the Cromwell Road end down there in the distance. And he's going to come down the slope here. Two out at the moment, deepish backward square, and the third man, but they're not the biggest of boundaries here in Hove. As down the slope comes Dan Worrell, and Rizwan gets a good length ball. He's forward, pushes this one up towards mid-on. Nice buzz around the place.
No, there is.
At the moment, and lots of people sat in those sort of Sussex T20 hats that look like you've got a bit of AstroTurf on the top of your head, in the blue of Sussex. Surrey in the duck egg blue, and Sussex Sharks in the dark blue. As in over the wicket comes Worrell to Rizwan. Good bowling again to Rizwan. Just at the moment, this pitch looks like there might be a little bit in it there. And Rizwan trying to work that leg side. Now practices playing straight, but he's gonna look for a release shot at some point here, Rizwan. He knows how key he is. The battle for me that is going to be fascinating is if Bopara or Rizwan are still in when Narain comes on to bowl. That's going to be fascinating, I think, as in over the wicket once again is Worrell, and again you can't get him away. He's just not giving him any room here. Down Worrell. And
it's been a good signing, hasn't he, Worrell?
Terrific, absolutely brilliant. With sort of longer form red ball cricket, his skills are unbelievable, and he's been very tidy as well in the T20. So with Jordan Clark not fit, I think Worrell was probably rested for the last game. He comes straight in. Now the slip comes out. Will Jacks heads off towards mid-wicket. That opens up that area down towards third man for Rizwan. If he wants to try to go down there, but he's bowling very straight to him here is Worrell. He's in, and Rizwan, there he goes. Runs it away, looking to go to third man. Doesn't really get much of this, and round comes Rory Burns to do the fielding, and they'll pick up a single. And 9 without loss. Can hear the sound of catering taking place away to our right-hand side as well.
Yeah, sound of knives and forks and plates.
The sound of cutlery.
Yeah,
here in Hove.
And the sound of a lovely buzz around the ground at the moment. It's filling up, actually. There's a lot of people coming into the ground, particularly at the Cromwell Road end.
Around the wicket once again comes Worrell to Harrison Ward, and Ward, the left-hander, pushes this one down towards third man. There is Gus Atkinson to do the fielding. That is a very tidy first over from Dan Worrell. 2 gone then, here on BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio London, and on the BBC Sport website, BBC Sport app. And Sussex Sharks stuck in by Surrey, 10 without loss after 2.
And I would imagine as well, through the live Sussex stream going out, and a lot of interest, I would imagine, around in Pakistan with Mohammad Rizwan. If you're watching over in the subcontinent, or maybe waiting for Rashid Khan, or looking forward to Narayan bowling as well, with a very warm welcome from a lovely sunny Hove this evening. It's going to be who's this? This is Will Jacks, who's come on to bowl from the C end of the ground. He's going to be bowling up the slope to the left-handed Harrison Ward, who just surveys that leg side boundary. As in comes Jacks, bowls, and Ward thrashes this only into the covers, and there is no run.
Yeah, interestingly, leading wicket taker for Surrey last year in this competition, Will Jacks. This is only the 3rd game he's bowled in this season.
Jackson again, bowls, and Ward again looks to cut this one away, and again exactly the same result, plays it into the covers, and there is no run.
Yeah, they've got that ring out there at cover, and he can't pierce the gap at the moment, Harrison Ward.
2 dot balls gone. In again, bowls. This time he finds the gap down the ground. If you're down in front of us, it's the familiar figure to Sussex supporters of Laurie Evans, who trots in and fields, sends in a good throw right over the top of the stumps. To Jamie Smith, 1 more to Harrison Ward. He goes to 5 and Sussex to 11 without a loss.
Yeah, I heard you talking about Laurie in the Big Bash. Was player of the final, leading scorer for the Perth Scorchers, and kept wicket in one game, which was the thing he was most keen to talk about, and a stumping as well for Laurie Evans.
In comes Jacks, bowls, and Rizwan beautifully taken down. That is given as a wide. They just had a quick look at that, did the umpire, but decided it had gone down the leg side. Well taken by Smith.
Here goes Chris Jordan.
Yeah,
again.
you see, I saw just Jamie Smith just signalled there. There you go, swept away. Exactly, that's the shot that Rizwan plays. But there's a fielder there on the deep backward square boundary, and it's just a single to Mohammad Rizwan, who goes to 7 and Sussex 13 without loss.
Yeah, perfect again. Conor McCurr got him in exactly the right position. And as I say, with all these live streams and everything, it's very difficult for players to do something that others haven't seen.
Jackson bowls, and Ward looking to hit firmly down the ground. He's going to get runs onto the onside, but it's just a single fielded out there on the boundary by, who's that out there, Churchy?
That's Nico Reefer out there.
Just running in, I can see now as he comes.
Got away with that, Harrison.
Yes.
That was a right on spite.
14 without loss. In comes Jacks again, and Rizwan works this onto the onside, and they've taken one. They'll be looking for 2 here, Sussex. And indeed, they do pick up a second run to Mohammad Rizwan, who goes to 9. But a tidy over by Will Jacks. Sussex, after 3 overs, are 16 without loss, so just the 6 runs off the over. Mohammad Rizwan is on 9, Harrison Ward is on 6. You listen to live cricket on BBC, BBC Radio, Sussex, London and Surrey. Mark Church, Adrian Harms are with us shortly, Johnny Catter.
Well, the other thing that's interesting here is the way Rizwan's going about this. He's definitely got Narayan in the back of his mind as well. He doesn't want to take risks yet because he knows what's coming. And what we've seen this season is sides that sort of look at Narayan and think, right, we've got to go hard at the top, end up 4 down when he comes on, and then it's virtually impossible. So Rizwan here is just playing very sensibly, and I think he's waiting for Narayan and Chris Jordan. He knows he needs to be there when they come into the attack. It's Gus Atkinson to bowl the 4th over from the Cromwell Road end and tucks Harrison Ward up for room and wants to whip that leg side. That rolls up towards mid-off. But I find all of this stuff fascinating. And get a single there. It's what Sussex would have talked about.
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And they'd have gone, our best way of doing this is making sure, Mr. Rizwan, if you don't mind, could you still be there for us when Mr. Narayan and Mr. Jordan come on to bowl? Because, he is their best player, and they need their best players when those 2 guys come on to bowl. As here is Gus Atkinson over the wicket, and opening the faces, Rizwan runs this one down towards 3rd man as up comes Worrell to do the fielding, and taking nothing away from Alsop, Bapara, Rawlings, Ward. They're great players, but this bloke's played an awful lot of franchise cricket and he knows exactly what he's up to. Same with Ravi as well, Ravi Bapara. Ravi will be key here as well against Rizwan, against Narayan. 18 without loss. Gus Atkinson down the slope, he comes to Harrison Ward, and Ward pulls firmly straight up the ground and away for 4. So Neil Narayan is up there at mid-on. He's just been looking for something here. Harrison Ward, he's a tall lad, and he's just thrown his hands through that, drilled it down the ground for 4. 22 without loss, the Sharks.
We've seen glimpses of Harrison Ward in this competition, Churchy. Down at Taunton, or when Sussex were really going for it in the final over, setting a target, he got 23 off 5 deliveries. So he does hit a long ball, and he's particularly strong in that area, down the ground, on the onside particularly.
Once again, does Harrison Ward. There's Atkinson over the wicket to him, and Ward drives again. Gets this straight up towards mid-off. And there is Chris Jordan moving away to his right-hand side.
He's the ultimate professional, isn't he, Chris Jordan? I know you was hearing him, his fitness levels are extraordinary.
He's always been a wonderful, wonderful cricketer. As I say, when he first sort of came into that Surrey side, 2007, that would have been, at Canterbury against Kent. And we'd heard about him, and when we saw him, everyone was like, wow. In over the wicket comes Atkinson, and this one's pushed off the back foot by Harrison Ward. Singles taken. You don't want to be running Rizwan out as the throw comes in from Reefer, but I think Rizwan was safely home, but that's not what you want to be doing. And get the single. 23 without loss. This is very kind. Andrew's emailed me telling me the 6 cricketers that do have their names on the Brighton buses.
Go on.
Oh, there we go. So Dulip Singhi, Dennis Foreman, C.B. Fry, Sir Jack Cobbs, Rupert Webb and John Wisden. Wow, there you go, and I didn't see any of them. In over the wicket comes Atkinson, forward goes Rizwan, turns this one up towards mid-on, and they will pick up a single, 1 more to the total. 4 overs gone. Solid start this from Sussex. 24 without loss. Key thing is they haven't lost any wickets. They've still got everybody in the dugout, and it'll be Dan Moriarty to bowl the 5th over.
Yeah, you sort of feel at this stage that Surrey have probably had the better of the power play. I know Sussex haven't lost any wickets, but going along at 6 and over. So just about Surrey with their noses in front here. Now what's going to happen here? It's going to be, is it Moriarty coming back into the attack?
Moriarty will come back in here.
Looks like it.
But again, I'll go back to what I said. The middle overs here are going to be absolutely critical. When Narayan comes on and when Jordan comes on, that will be the key time. This is exactly what Sussex have talked about.
And Chris Jordan is literally in front of us at mid-on for the right-handed Mohammad Rizwan as Moriarty bowling his left-arm spin around the wicket, comes in from the C end of the ground. Up the slope, he's in and bowls to Rizwan, and Rizwan works out onto the onside. There's some confusion there. Rizwan was after a single. I'm not sure there was ever one there, really, and Moriarty very quickly round and prevented any thought of the single. And it's a dot ball. 24 without loss. Rizwan remains on 11. Ward on 12. So it will be key to get some boundaries in the next couple of overs in the power play. As in comes Moriarty bowls. There we are, hammered down the ground. That's a super shot. 4 runs, drilled straight down the ground by Mohammad Rizwan. He picks up a boundary. Lovely looking shot. Chris Jordan's got to come and retrieve the ball. He's just asking a couple of spectators if they might do it. Now, hang on, Chris, you've got to find the ball first of all. There we are. You can probably hear in our effects mic, he's running in the gravel down below us.
It's a lovely bit of batting from Rizwan. Just used to the feet, and it doesn't try and hit that too hard. It's almost just chipped that straight back over the top of Dan Moriarty for 4.
Just what Sussex needed, really. They go to 28 without loss. Rizwan on to 15. Moriarty just waits. Rizwan surveys that leg side field. Still those 2 fielders on the leg side boundary as Moriarty is in again. Bowls and Rizwan's at it again, and this has gone for 6. This has gone all the way. Used his feet, thumped the ball down the ground, and that's 6 runs. Lovely shot by Mohammad Rizwan. Well, we said Sussex needed a couple of boundaries, and that's exactly what they've got. 4 followed by 6. Lovely shots by Mohammad Rizwan, and Chris Jordan just comes up and has a little natter to Dan Moriarty. I wonder whether there may be a slight change in the field. We'll wait and see. But the Sharks to 34 without loss, Rizwan to 21.
Interesting thing with that is he didn't really get hold of it, Rizwan. But they're pretty short boundaries straight. So he knows as long as he gets enough on it, he's probably going to get it over the rope for 6.
Yeah.
In a way, Jordan won't mind too much because we have seen a little bit of bounce here for Moriarty.
Yeah. So Chris Jordan's now come down to long on. As in comes Moriarty again. Bowls. This time cut away by Rizwan. This time it's gone the other way. A little bit wide of the off stump, and he cut it away firmly through backward point. 3 boundaries in a row for Mohammed Rizwan. Beautiful shots. He goes to 25, and the Sharks 38 without loss.
Just a great bit of batting because Dan Moriarty there, he doesn't want to go too straight to him because he's just been hit down the ground twice and just a little bit wide on it. It wasn't short, but Rizwan's just cut it through the gap for 4.
Moriarty again bowls, and Rizwan clubs this onto the leg side. He's going to get a single down to deep backward square. Good bit of fielding out there. Throw comes in. They'll need to be quick. Throw comes in. Good bit of running between the sticks. Very good bit of running. I thought there was just a single there for Mohammed Rizwan, but he was very quickly back for the second run. He goes to 27, and the Sharks to 40 without loss.
Yeah, the other thing about these players, they don't often hit fielders. Rizwan tends to hit the gap. Good running there as well.
He wants to use that Worrell all the way out there.
Conor McCurr out there.
Okay. And the boundary quickly got in the throw, but Rizwan was always looking for the 2. Moriarty, final ball of the over. Bowls to Rizwan, and Rizwan just checks his shot, plays it into the offside, picks up a single, fielded there by Reefer, but not before Rizwan's gone through for a single. Good over for the Sharks, who finish on 41 without loss, so 17 off of that over. Mohammed Rizwan on 28, Harrison Ward is on 12. I'm going to leave you with Churchy, and Johnny Cantor is going to join you on commentary.
Yeah, that's the problem for bowlers in T20. Moriarty hasn't done anything wrong there. It's just very good batting from Mohammed Rizwan. 2 shots down the ground, then his sweep shot, and that lovely little cut for 4. So actually Moriarty wasn't a bad over for Dan Moriarty at all.
Hughes' experience, straight, you put indecision in, and then he cuts one. Bowler doesn't know where to bowl, does he?
Absolutely, and I think again, sort of it is that whole thing of Rizwan's picking when to go here, because, sorry to go on about it, he is waiting for Narayan and Jordan. That's what he's waiting for. Worrell from the Cromwell Road end, the 6th over, comes into Rizwan, and Rizwan's just turning this one off the stumps into the leg side. That'll get Reefer's legs moving and Narayan's, and they should get back for 3, and they will get back for 3. Good running from Rizwan, although he looks a little uncomfy there as he comes back for the 3rd, but he's okay.
I don't think he likes doing the running between the wickets, to be brutally honest. If you ever see him do a single, he literally walks it, doesn't he? I think he wants to conserve the energy, but that's a couple. He's had a 2 and a 3 there, so but he's doing his job, isn't he?
Yeah, brilliant. So 31 off 19 balls so far from Mohammed Rizwan, and again, I think this is a pretty good power play from Sussex at the moment. It's not the most spectacular, but the key thing is Rizwan's still there. And
you can't win it, but you can certainly lose it. That would probably be the case.
And I think a few sides I've seen do that because of what's coming.
Yeah.
As Dan Worrell then will come round the wicket to the left-handed Harrison Ward, and Ward's chipping this in the air and will go straight up to mid-on. Slower ball from Worrell, and Harrison Ward's just chipped that straight to Sunil Narayan, so doesn't quite get through the power play. Harrison Ward, Surrey have their first wicket. Ward goes, just chipping that one from Worrell straight up to mid-on. Harrison Ward is on his way back to the dugout. And Sussex are 44 for 1, Johnny Cantor.
Yeah, I thought a little bit. I think he'd be disappointed with the shot, but you've got to give Worrell a bit of credit, taking some pace off the ball, just popping it up. Very simple catch. And I was just about to say, if they can get through to the end of the power play without having lost any wickets, I think they'd be very, very happy indeed. Never looked totally comfortable, Ward. I think he was trying maybe a little bit too hard, going for the big hit, which is what he's there to do, and that's why he's been maybe promoted up the order, doing that Luke Wright role. Of course, he's not available. If you missed it earlier, there was one change, Garton coming in for Wright, but you know he's gone. But it offers an opportunity here for Ali Orr to come to the crease, who of course been in some good form recently and scored some runs.
Yeah, and I think the other thing there for Harrison Ward was he hadn't seen the bowling for at least 8 deliveries, because Rizwan saw the whole of Moriarty's over and then nicked a single off the last one to the first ball of this over. So Harrison Ward has been stuck up the non-striker's end. So Orr is out there, left-hander, and a slip straight in for him as Worrell comes over the wicket to Orr, and Orr gets a back of a length delivery that he pushes straight back up the pitch, and it's a nice looking shot from him to start.
There's a plethora of left-handers now, with the likes of Allsop,
Rawlings.
Ward, or Rawlings. I probably need to do the maths in turn and work out as part of the squad how many there are now. I mean, it can be nice to have right and left.
Waits again. Does Orr as Worrell's into him. That's a beauty. That's it. Back goes past the inside edge. That's cut him in half. There is a little bit there. Seen it from Worrell in his first over. There's a little bit of zip and movement there. That makes it interesting as well a bit later on in the evening under the lights, but that really did cut Orr in half.
Beautiful delivery, wasn't it? They got a bit of lift as well, which not always easy here at Hove. So Worrell deserves a lot of credit for that, and I think his captain will quite like the idea of that as well.
Comes down the slope again, does Dan Worrell, right arm over the wicket to Orr, who's driving down to backward point. Good work from Rory Burns with the throw. Rizwan is through for the single. Mr. Adrian Harms has arrived with cups of tea, which is absolutely magnificent from him, and Rizwan comes back onto strike on 31, and the Sussex Sharks are 45 for 1.
That's all the power play coming up. As you say, it made a very good point actually. Ward hadn't really seen the strike, and Rizwan had been going full flush, so made it a little bit difficult. Maybe he didn't pick it out early enough, but they're bringing in the slip. That's Jax who's coming in there. It's a bit like a sort of second slip, really. Remember that catch he took up at the Oval in the corresponding fixture up in London? That was some catch of the summer so far for me.
Yeah, as in over the wicket comes Worrell to Rizwan, and Rizwan will take a single off the last ball of the over. He'll keep the strike. So Rizwan moves on to 32. That's the power play. That's a very good over from Dan Worrell as well. The wicket award just 5 off the over, but I think Sussex won't be too upset with this. 6 gone, 46 for 1, and the key thing is there in big capital letters is the name Rizwan with a star next to his name, because he's on strike and he's 32 not out.
So crucial. He likes to bat through in innings, he likes to stay there, and that seems what they need. I think it's a pretty decent platform in the power play, 46 for 1, run rate of 7.7, so I think they'll be quite comfortable with that, I think. But as long as Rizwan's there, as long as he can see through, use his experience, help a lot of these players that haven't played too much cricket, the likes of Orr, also who's been in good form. Rizwan, you sort of feel is so key, especially in the absence of Luke Wright. But it's going to be a change, isn't it?
Conor McCurr into the
McCurr's going to come in. He's just changing the field as well. He's got 2 men out on the offside, down on the boundary. Now we're through the power play. No slip in here. He's got a 3rd man and a fine leg. Tall figure bounding in from the sea end, and that's outside the off stump, and it's a lovely drive. Nice shot just for the single though. And it's Rizwan who goes to 33-47 for 1.
It was Conor McCurr that came in and hit the boundary off the last ball against Somerset, of course.
I did watch it actually, Churchy, and I really did enjoy that game. It was there's been some brilliant finishes, I think, in the T20 this competition already. Alive and kicking, it certainly is. Unfortunately for Sussex, they're usually on the wrong side of it, but it was certainly an interesting finish down at Glamorgan last Sunday, as it was the other night. Couldn't really call it between Somerset and Surrey. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes all the way, to be brutally honest. As McCurr goes around the wicket to the left-handed Orr. He's on 1. Bat raised in the air, he goes for it over mid-wicket, he clears the fielder, and it's 1 bounce 4. Didn't quite time it right to get the maximum, but he'll be delighted with that. His first boundary, he goes to 5. Sussex Sharks 51 for 1. And a bit of confidence being shown there by Ali Orr.
Yeah, very good from Ali Orr, because Jordan had mid-off and mid-on up for that delivery, and he went length to him, and Orr didn't again get all of it, but he got enough of it to get it up and over the top, and now Rory Burns drops out to long on for Ali Orr.
McCurr, what kind of response can he find here? Coming in around the wicket, that's down the leg side, but it's got a leading edge, pops out on the offside. He got away with one there, or fielded. He'll get a single all the same, but he was right through that shot far too early, and you've got to give credit there to McCurr. Maybe just disguising it a little bit, taking a little bit of the pace off. Could so easily have popped up to a fielder, but he's got away with it. Another single to the total, 52 for 1.
He bowled nicely against Somerset. 2.3 overs, no mains, 2 for 19, Conor McCurr.
Do they expecting big things from this guy?
Yeah, he's a talent.
Yeah. He's certainly a big guy, comes in over the wicket, nice shot there from Rizwan, and that's a long through extra cover, delightful stroke, perfect timing, a wonderful for Rizwan, looking in good nick. He goes to 37, 56 for 1 now, Sussex. A slightly ominous sign that, slightly over pitch, outside with a little bit of width, not too much, but it's a delightful stroke.
It's that bottom hand. He just suddenly just flung that bottom hand into it. It was almost like a hockey shot.
And what you said earlier, he always seems to split the fielders.
Never hits the fielder.
You know, and that's a little bit of risk there to just find it right past the man at extra cover. Here's McCurr again. This one's straighter. It's turned onto the onside, and Rizwan just decides to amble forward on the single this time and conserve a little bit more energy. Reasonable over this so far. 11 from the first 5 deliveries.
You can see Mr. Harms away to our right-hand side. I said there's quite a few
do you know
press
what?
here.
I said I guarantee he's eating.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guarantee
absolutely.
he hasn't eaten for at least 45 minutes.
But how does he stay so trim?
No, don't ask. I only have to look at a piece of cake and it goes on me. But I think he's tucking into a bit of lasagna or something next door. And Chris Jordan just bringing the man up from long leg here.
Yeah, he's saying to War again, if you want to go over the top straight, go over the top straight.
Final ball of the McCurr over. No, another change coming in. Now he's going to send someone back, is he? Rory Burns, no, you came in, but you're going back. And then Jordan just having a word there with his bowler. Good, intelligent captaincy. Just love the way he operates, Chris Jordan. He's sort of relaxed, but knows what he's doing. McCurr around the wicket to Orr. And that's clubbed onto the onside. And it'll just past the man who's come up from fine leg. Swooping around for the leg side boundary, fielded there, and good running. End of the over. 7 overs gone, 59 for 1, or on 8. Rizwan unbeaten on 38.
Yeah, one thing I would say is Surrey have to keep an eye on the time. They do take a bit of time over it, and they will get caught at some point. I think they have in one game, and of course it's not runs this year. You lose a fielder outside the circle, so you have to bring a fielder up. You're only allowed the 4 out, so they've got to be a little bit careful on that. You know, it's great, and they take a long time about it, but they've just got to be a little bit careful, I think. Will Jacks to bowl the 8th over from the Cromwell Road end with his off spin. Rizwan will be the man on strike. 59 for 1 after 7, Surrey, as Jacks is into Rizwan. Rizwan just nudges this into the leg side. He's not going to get 2 there, Rizwan, because they're not the biggest boundary square of the wicket here at Hove. So Gus Atkinson comes up to do the fielding. You haven't heard the test match close of play, and New Zealand 225 for 5. And well, I think if your name for New Zealand finishes with ELL, you've had a pretty good series, because Mitchell 78 not out and Blundell 45 not out. As in round the wicket comes Jacks, that's short, and that is swung by Orr. It was asking for it, and Orr has given it absolutely everything and swung that. It's almost out the ground, I think, over mid-wicket for 6. We might need another ball here, but Orr there.
I got the treatment, didn't it? It was a poor delivery. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he even quite got hold of it as he wanted, but someone will be a bit worried about their car. I can see a few kids scampering around to try and go and find that ball, but there is a long line of parked cars along the side of the ground there. It can be a little bit ominous sometimes when you park it out there. It can be a bit dangerous, but be a bit disappointed, Jacks, with that delivery, I think, so early in the over.
Just got it slightly wrong, and he just sat up for Orr, and he was good enough just to sling it.
There is another game going on, actually, isn't the South Group, isn't there? So Somerset taking on Hampshire. Hampshire 55 for 1 there. Down in Taunton, so it's after 7 overs, 55 for 1. Of course, Surrey desperate to get a home quarter-final. They look odds on for that, don't they? But
I think well, what would be interesting with that game you just mentioned is if Hampshire did beat Somerset, it'd be very congested behind Surrey.
Yeah.
Because Somerset on 14, Gloucestershire on 12, Essex 11, Glamorgan 10, Hampshire 10. Jacks is in and forward comes Orr and plays Jacks straight back up the pitch. Nicely bowled by Will Jacks.
It's funny, the group. I mean, we always know it's competitive in the South Group, don't we? But
it's in again, Jacks, and Orr sweeping hits the pad, and that's going to run away down below us and over the boundary rope and away for 4. So got something on that, did Orr, and that probably saved him in many ways. A little bit of bat on that because Will Jacks was about to go up, I think, for the LBW shout, but got a little bit of wood on that. Did Orr. He's on to 18 off 9, 70 for 1 as Jacks is in and Orr cutting extravagantly for a single out there towards Reefer, who's sweeping up on that cover boundary rope. Throw comes in 1 bounce over the top of the stumps. 72 for 1 now, the Sharks. Rizwan, apologies, 71 for 1. And Rizwan comes back onto strike on 39 as Jacks is over the wicket to Rizwan, and Rizwan gets forward. He was going to sweep that and then thought better of it and just, again, that bottom hand hockey shot, just nudged it with those wrists into the leg side. Keeps the strike again, does Rizwan. 8 gone. What's Narine doing at the moment? It's going to be Jordan first. So Chris Jordan first, Narine still with his hat on.
I thought Narine might come from this end, but actually, well, he could yet still, I guess. But well, the great thing about Chris Jordan bowling is he knows this ground so well. He knows these tracks. He knows how to bowl here from either end. Swan, who's gone to 40, will be on strike, and he's looking in good nick. So this could be a very, very interesting contest between these two. Chris Jordan, the captain, ready to go up against his former county. Spent 8 years here at the county ground, now bounding it in the colours for Surrey, up against Rizwan, who just turns it onto the onside, goes for the first quick single, should turn again a second, as it's nicely placed in between the 2 fielders. Jacks eventually gets in there, but he won't stop the second run. And that's good cricket, that, from Rizwan. Good backing up from Ali Orr as well. 74 for 1. This the 9th over here on BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio Surrey, BBC Radio London, and the BBC Sport website. So many different places to get your cricket fix here at the BBC. As Jordan charges in, right arm over the wicket to Rizwan. That's short and that's batted across there into mid-wicket. He's trying to place it in between the 2 fielders, but need the same man to retrieve it. Once again, it's Jacks, and once again we get 2 runs on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I know he doesn't really sprint between the wickets. He's not moving terribly well though, Rizwan. He's stretching out now.
I've never seen someone so fidgety with gloves and pads and all sorts.
The way he came back for that second though wasn't fidgety. That was he felt something there as he came back.
I saw that running between the wickets. He'd done himself an injury. Well, Jordan's just aborted his run, so I think he was running off the wrong run up there, perhaps. Just had a quick check and comes back to his mark. Turns, comes forward now, and that's down the leg side. Nicely timed by Rizwan, straight to the man behind behind square on the leg side. Deep backward square, just coming in 10 yards off the boundary.
Fascinating, this, fascinating. This is the game plan from Sussex. Rizwan's there when Jordan came into the attack. So this is exactly what they would have talked about, Sussex. It'd be really interesting to see how Rizwan goes about this against Jordan and Narine.
Interesting to see how Orr goes about his role in this partnership as well. Wicket first, the only wicket to go down, went down at 44, so now 33 this partnership between these two. Can they extend it? Orr on strike, facing up to Jordan, who's got around the wicket, just dabs that down on the offside, just with some softish hands, and he'll go through for the single.
Yep, sensibly played by Orr.
So frustrating not to have a packed out crowd this evening, but of course the rail strike probably a big determining factor in that.
I was just thinking for Surrey fans, if you don't drive, then getting here is going to be very well.
I did see a couple of coaches, maybe people might have arranged or joined up with potentially, but as you say, very, very awkward, isn't it? Thursday night, but it's glorious sunshine here at the county ground, looking at an absolute picture. Floodlights are on as Jordan comes in again, and that's onto the offside behind square. There's down there at third man, so it would just be a single. On ball left of the Jordan over. 46 now, 1 boundary away from a half century.
Plays it so late. He's taken that from the top of his off stump. was watching Kane Williamson. He's not in the best of form at the moment this morning, but he plays.
I was about to say,
so
it was a really good bit of analysis, I think, from Nasser Hussain on that as well. And I think that's great players, isn't it? They've got that confidence, that ability to do it. They can play the ball so late. Absolute delight to watch. But it's Orr on strike as Jordan comes in, and he's wrapped that around onto the leg side. Which is a very strange looking shot, wasn't the prettiest, but he'll get a single all the same. 80 for 1 off 9 now, Sussex, or 21, Rizwan 46. Just nicely balanced at the moment,
it is.
I'd say, Churchy.
And here we go, Sunil Narayan into the attack in the 10th over. So Narayan, if it goes the way it's been going, he'll bowl overs 10, 12, 14, 16 from the Cromwell Road end. Jordan will probably bowl a couple here and leave himself with 2 at the back end. So it's going to be very interesting here. Now Narayan's figures, that they have been outstanding. The most runs he's gone for in the competition off his 4 overs is 28. Took none for 18 against Somerset. Took 1 for 17 in the first 2 games for Surrey. 1 for 24 against Hampshire at the Oval. 1 for 18 against Kent at Canterbury. 1 for 21 against Sussex back in South London. 2 for 28 against Middlesex at Lords. 2 for 27 against Middlesex at the Kia Oval. 1 for 28 against Hampshire at the Ageas. And none for 18 the other night. So he's been exceptional so far. But what's going to be very interesting here, does Rizwan look to go down the ground to it? As Narayan, he's into Orr, and Orr pushes his first ball out towards deepish cover point. There is Reefer. They'll pick up a single. So Rizwan comes on to strike. Now you've got to be a really good player to come down the pitch and look to go over the top to him. Long off and long on are there, yes. But in every game so far in this competition, he's basically took the end he's bowling from out of the equation, because you're terrified he's going to go past your outside edge or your inside edge. As he hides the ball as always to Rizwan. Rizwan sensibly played, just nudges this one down towards long on. We'll take the single.
So describe it for our, maybe the listeners, particularly in Sussex, who haven't seen him too much, in the way that he covers the ball.
Well, he comes up with the ball hidden behind his backside. So his arm's straight down. He had to change his action a few years ago. There's not a huge amount of front arm, but he hides the ball. Now that bowling arm comes over very quickly, so you don't see the ball as Orr turns this one into the leg side until the very last moment, because he hides it behind his back. There isn't much front arm in it, and as I say, he can go past your outside edge, he can go past your inside edge. His control is immaculate, but as he comes in now, you can't see the ball. It's behind his back and then he's in, and that's a quicker one, and Rizwan can only turn that straight back up the pitch and there's no run. But it's his accuracy as well, that's the thing. And as I say, I didn't realise quite how good he was till I saw him live. As in his sunglasses he comes once again, and Rizwan waits for this, just nudges down to backward point. There is Dan Worrell to do the fielding. Rizwan moves on to 48, or back onto strike on 23. So the players that have had a tiny bit of success against him have been the ones who've played cross-batted shots. So have gone on the sweep or the reverse sweep, but it's tricky, as this one's down the leg side, nicely taken by Jamie Smith, but wide is the signal. And that'll be one more to the total. Lovely buzz about the place this evening.
Really is. And a few people are going to have a few rosy cheeks, I think, in the morning as well, as that sun beams down from the other side.
It's in again. Or forward. Gosh, he's gone past his inside edge there, I think. I think he's got a little bit of something on it. That's one turn back in. Got a little inside edge that saved him. Lovely first over from that man Narayan. 10 gone, halfway point. 86 for 1 Sussex. I'll take a break, and Adrian Harms will join the legend that is Mr. Johnny Cantor.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent total, that 86 for 1, 10 overs gone. I think Sussex will be relatively happy. I think it's still certainly in the balance, difficult to know. You can never really tell until both sides have, of course, batted on it. But with Rizwan still at the crease on 48, or giving a good support as well with 24, I would say that it's nicely balanced. It's a reasonable pitch. We saw a little bit of lift from Worrell early on. Ryan bowling well too, so a little bit in it for the bowlers, but we've still had a couple of boundaries as well, so Going to be Atkinson to come back into the attack.
From this, the C end of the ground comes into bowl to Ali Orr, and Orr looks to play that one down towards third man. He's beaten outside the off stump. There is no run. One of the advantages that Ali Orr has, Johnny, is that no one has seen much of him playing T20 cricket. He's played a bit of second 11 T20 and played in a couple of games, batted very nicely at Chelmsford last week, but he's got long arms, he's a tall man, and when he swings the ball away on that leg side, it goes a long, long way. In comes Atkinson, over the wicket, bowls. There he goes. He doesn't time that, but he's going to get 4 runs, I think, straight down the ground, and runs away for 4 runs. Well, not entirely where he intended the ball to go. And Colin McCurr was racing around the boundary, but couldn't cut it off. And it's run away for a boundary to Ali Orr, who goes to 28, and the Sharks for 90 for 1 in this, the 11th over.
Yeah, the fact that it went dead straight, I think, was to his advantage, and that's what he got the boundary for. So, a couple of supporters jigging away in the hospitality suites. I think they might have had a few. I think there's a few seagulls eyeing up their dinner as well, staring up at us.
Well, it's a great night to sit out and have a glass of wine or a beer. It just couldn't be better.
And high quality cricket as well.
In comes Atkinson, bowls again to Orr, who slices this. Is he going to be caught by Chris Jordan? No, he's not. Just racing back at mid-off. Good bit of fielding by Chris Jordan. They might look for 3 here. You don't often see 3s at Hove, but they are going to tonight. No, he doesn't. He gets sent back to Ali Orr. Well, that was extraordinary. He played the ball. It wasn't where he meant it to go. It flew over extra cover. Laurie Evans and Chris Jordan were in hot pursuit. Then they got their wires crossed as to who was going to throw the ball in. Look at Rizwan. He's saying there wasn't another run there. I think there was, actually.
Well, the only thing Churchill said, he felt that Rizwan wasn't moving too smoothly earlier and that he might have done himself an injury. He has actually run a couple of 2s in quick succession. He's not renowned, is he, for like kind of wanting to do too much running, but maybe that was just pure indecision between the two of them.
6 off the so far, 3 balls to go. In comes Atkinson, and he's beaten outside the off stump. In fact, Orr is caught behind. Ali Orr goes. Good response from Gus Atkinson. Or looking to play that one away down to third man. He's caught behind by Jamie Smith, and the second Sussex wicket goes down on 92. Is the wicket of Ali Orr, who's on his way for 30. And I think that's a good bit of bowling, actually, because he'd gone for 6 already in the over, slanting the ball across the left-hander, and Jamie Smith, with a fairly routine catch, does the rest. But a partnership between those two, Johnny, of 48.
Yeah, which is impressive, and a real shame for Sussex. It's all looked like he was in good form. Saying that, he'd already been beaten, hadn't he, in that over, and just want to maybe run it late down to third man, potentially on that early one. Indecision in there, but as you say, perfect response from Surrey. And I think we talked about the fact that Sussex would probably be happy about the fact they'd only lost the 1 wicket. Now that could well change, especially with the Ryan at the other end. But we'll see how that wicket, how that impacts on the run rate as well. It's currently 8.6 as Alsop comes to the crease.
Well, Tom Alsop is second in the T20 averages for Sussex this season. He scored 302 runs at an average of 50. Mohammad Rizwan is averaging 55, but he's been in good form as Tom Alsop as he waits. As in comes Atkinson, over the wicket, bowls, and Alsop works this one out as the covers. There's always a misfield, but he gets away with it at backward point, and there is no run. So it remains on 92 for 2, Rizwan on 48.
A couple of covers over the couple of the tracks out there, aren't there, which sometimes it sort of bobbles on.
No, I agree.
And it can be very tricky if you're fielding right on the edge of the square. Sometimes anyone who's played cricket knows what that's like.
Atkinson, final ball of this, the 11th over. He's in and bowls, all sort of drives firmly to mid-off. There's not a single there. Rizwan slips, Jordan hits, he's out, he is out! That's a quite brilliant piece of fielding by Chris Jordan. Well, it was played firmly by Alsop to mid-off. It was the correct call. He said wait, Rizwan had set off, it went to Chris Jordan, and you just do not want to take any chances. We've seen it down here over the last 8 seasons at Hove with Chris Jordan. 1 chance, threw at the stumps, Rizwan's gone on 48. That's a massive, massive wicket for Surrey.
I mean, it's unfortunate he slips, but it's just that he has to turn so quickly because he's sent back, but as you say, he sent him back pretty promptly. It had gone straight out at pace, but if there's one person you do not want it to go to, it is Chris Jordan. And he's got 3 stumps to aim at. Boom, thank you very much. As you see, we've seen it plenty of times before, and that's why he's one of the best fielders in the game.
Well, he is, and we were talking earlier on, Johnny, about Chris Jordan, the athlete, and I know when he was down at Hove, and I'm sure Churchy will back this up as well. He was the consummate professional. His preparation was absolutely immaculate. Chris Jordan, he keeps himself in wonderful condition, and what a great bit of fielding, and that's what turns games of cricket. I guess it's like the striker in football who scores the goal inside the box. One chance, Jordan, he's out. Rizwan's gone. He's the danger man. End of the over. What an over as far as Surrey are concerned, picking up 2 wickets at the end of the 11th over, 92 for 3. And now it looks like there's a slip in place, Johnny.
Yeah, and it is Jordan who's gone in and slipped for Narine, who comes in right arm over the wicket. That's driven down to mid-off, but there'll be no run. He's 33. What did he join Surrey in? 2007 originally, something like that. 2007, 2008. He's like he's been around forever, isn't it? And again, getting through his overs, his balls quickly. Goes on to the offside, squeezed out there, but must field a fumble from Jacks, and they'll get a single.
I guess the thing is now, Johnny, you've got 2 batsmen who 5 minutes ago were both sitting in the dugout, and now you've got 2 new batsmen who've got to set themselves, and you're coming against Narine, which is not easy.
This changes the complexion of the game for me.
Hugely.
Rizwan, we said he needs to be the spine of the Sussex innings. He needs to stay there till at least 16, 17. Not the case though. This is the 12th over, reverse sweep onto the offside there from Allsop, who's off the mark. He has a single, but Para is the new batsman.
You just feel
resting on him now.
Yeah, and I agree with you, John. I think the whole balance of the game has changed in the last 3 balls of that over, isn't it? All of a sudden, Orr is out.
Well, Churchy said these sort of central overs so important, and he was absolutely spotted. As Narine comes in again, and that's nice. Straight delivery, just dabbed down. The wicket keeper comes out to claim and toss that back to the bowler. Very good over this as well.
Extraordinary stats that Churchy was reading out about Narine. I mean,
yes, I know. But the consistency of it as well. Time after time after time, he comes in again. That's an inside edge, squirting onto the onside this time. I don't think he knew anything about that, Bapara.
He didn't.
I mean, he's looking one way and the ball's gone the other. Wonderful disguise.
He's just a wizard, isn't he?
He certainly is. I mean, somebody of the experience of Bapara, perplexed by that delivery. One more to go from Narine. 95 for 3 now, Sussex. Around the wicket to the left-hander. Pops that up to the offside. Good fielding again from Jordan. Alert. End of the over then. 95 for 3. 12 overs gone. Allsop and Bapara, the new batsmen, on 1 and 2 respectively. And this game certainly has swung Surrey's way in the last couple of overs.
Well, it definitely has. And what a wonderful spell of bowling. So I think Narine has conceded 9 runs in 2 overs. And Churchy was saying I don't think he's gone for more than 28 in his 4 overs, which is quite extraordinary. And I suspect that he's not going to go for more than 28 tonight. Very good evening wherever you're listening to us on our DAB frequencies on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey, also on BBC Radio London. You may be watching via the Sussex Cricket Club live stream, which if you are, you'll see that Hove looks magnificent this evening. But you have to say that Surrey have really got themselves back into this. Those 2 wickets and the crucial run out. Chris Jordan running out Mohammed Rizwan on 48. A quite brilliant piece of fielding, which may have turned this match in the favour of Surrey. Long way to go though. In comes Jordan running in over the wicket, bowls to Bapara, who works that down to 3rd man. Good bit of fielding right down there on the boundary. There won't be 2 there as the throw comes in. Very good bit of fielding all the way down to the distance. So far down, I'm not sure who that is all the way down.
There's been a fair bit of indecision, hasn't there, in the field on a couple of runs, I think, as well. It's probably 3 times we've had indecision, people not sure whether to go, and of course Rizwan did slip. And there was a slight indecision as well. I guess that probably reflects a side that maybe are lacking a little bit of confidence, perhaps.
Yeah, no, quite right. Well, it was Gus Atkinson who was very quickly round the back, indebted to Churchy for pointing out the Surrey players right up the far end of the ground as Chris Jordan comes around the wicket now to the left-handed Tom Allsop. He's in and bowls, and Allsop with a swing and a miss outside the off stump. Good bit of bowling by Chris Jordan, taken by Jamie Smith. And there is no run. And the effect of wickets in T20 is huge, and wickets go down and suddenly the run rate comes to a grinding halt. And Sussex, who are going along very nicely at the end of the power play, 86 for 1, now 96 for 3 in the 13th over, being bowled by the former Sussex man Chris Jordan. Those orange flashes on the back of his boots. He sets off away from us. He's in and bowl. Top one also again with the power miss. That was a pacey delivery by Chris Jordan. Also looking to cut that one away through point. And twice in a row he's been beaten, and Ravi Bopara comes down the wicket, the Sussex skipper. Just piles the pressure on Tom Alsop here, doesn't it? He's wandering away to square leg, probably thinking, I need to get bat on ball here.
He hasn't really moved his feet for either shot as he's wafting around there, but I think you're right, there's quite a fair bit of speed generated by Chris Jordan, maybe buoyed by that run out.
Well, it really was a tremendous piece of fielding. And in front of us, he's going to run up the hill. Sussex 96 for 3. In comes Jordan, bowls. Also swings that out to the leg side. Is it going to go all the way for a maximum? The umpire says he's not sure. We're going to have to wait. I'm not sure the field is sure either. The umpire's saying, I don't know, it has gone for 6. Short and pulled away by Tom Alsop. It was a wideish long on almost cow corner for 6 runs, relieving some of the pressure. Good shot from Alsop, who's been in good form for Sussex, the leading run scorer in the T20 this season. 302 runs before tonight. He goes to 7 off 7 deliveries, and the Sharks 102 for 3 in this, the 13th over. And what will Jordan's response be? He won't like being hit for 6. That's for sure. He's got 4 men in, saving 1 inside the circle on the offside. He's in and bowls, and again pulled away by Alsop without timing this time. It was a shorter delivery, pulled out to Burns, who's fielding out there at deep mid-wicket, gets in the throw. 1 more to Tom Alsop. He goes to 8. The Sharks to 103 for 3.
A bit cross-batting. I mean, Alsop and Orr are similar, aren't they, in a way that they probably can both play both disciplines, 4-day game, 1-day game. You know, so I just think sometimes you just got to give people a chance in all competitions rather than this sort of slightly channeling people. I asked him when I interviewed him after he signed his new deal, and he just said, no, I just want to score runs in every position. I want to play every game. And
he's done really well as in comes Jordan, bowls to Bopara. Borough clips the ball at full length down to long on, where it's fielded by McCurr, who comes running into field. 1 off the last ball of the over. That Chris Jordan over going for 9 runs. At the end of the 13th, the Sussex Sharks are 104 for 3 with Alsop on 8 and Bopara on 4.
A slightly slower delivery there, I think, from Jordan, mixing it up a little bit. It's so difficult to get away at times, isn't he? But this is a good spell in the game for Surrey. I mean, they've mixed and matched quite nicely. Moriarty, Worrell, Jacks, Atkinson, McCurr, Jordan, Narine all have bowled. But Narine's just going to keep going, I think, because I think they just want to turn the screw a little bit here, Surrey, at 104 for 3.
Well, he's bowled beautifully so far.
It is. Bopara on strike. Narine just plays that down to the man out at long off, and it will be a single to Ravi Bopara. Just taking his time, sizing things up, which is absolutely fair enough. But they just must keep an eye on that run rate as well, I think, just to make sure that that's ticking over. It's so difficult to see what's going to be a good total on this ground. It's relatively short boundaries. Narine goes around the wicket there to Alsop, who misjudged that one completely. Hits the thigh.
I think they should make Narine bowl left-handed. It's not fair.
But you know, there's just some cricketers who you just love to watch, and I think he's one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, you know, absolute joy, and he's something different as well. He comes in, that's cross-batted through to mid-wicket, fielded on the 1 bounce, and returned back to the wicket-keeper. Just the single there to Alsop. He moves to 9, 106 for 3.
Good bit of work, wasn't it, in the outfield, because that went very, very fast to mid-wicket.
It was very difficult as well.
Yeah, the sun's setting really, as well.
Which is quite funny, because I quite often see fielders on that side of the ground, and they've all got their sunglasses on the top of their caps. And I wonder, well, if you're going to have the sunglasses, do you want to wear them? But maybe that's for some other reason. Here's Narine. That's outside the off stump, taken by the keeper. No run.
Chris Jordan thought he was in business there. It slipped, didn't he?
He did. He was trying to play it very late there, Ravi Bopara, but I'm not sure he would have got it past Worrell. Who'd come up from 3rd man, just inside the cordon there. So still 106 for 3. Another good over from Narine. It's a little bit shorter, punched into the ground by Bopara. It'll only get a single though. Rashid is who'll field. It's just remarkably difficult to get away. But one thing I would say is We've seen Sussex implode a little bit, but they've kept their cool a little bit here, even though they found it quite slow going in the last 4 or 5 overs, particularly since those 2 wickets. That's outside the off stump. Square it goes from Allsop, fielded by the man, I think it's Reefer, who's out there in the darkness, in the shadow of the pavilion. End of the over, 14 overs gone. Sussex Sharks 108 for 3, Bapara on 6, Allsop unbeaten on 10. I'll hand you back to Mark Church and Adrian Harms.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Live cricket here on BBC Radio Sussex and Surrey, BBC Radio London. If you're watching, as we say, via the live stream, a very good evening wherever you're listening from on a glorious evening on the South Coast. This is what T20 is all about. Blue skies, floodlights on, shirt sleeve crowd, people enjoying a glass of wine or a pint of beer. What more could you want, Churchy?
Well, absolutely. And I just stepped outside. The atmosphere is lovely and good cricket this at the moment. Very interestingly poised. Gus Atkinson, 15th over, coming in over the wicket to Allsop. He jumps outside his off stump. Good bowling from Atkinson. Gave him no room, just followed him. Toe end of the bat from Allsop. Runs up to Jordan. Stood up there at mid-off and 109 for 3.
What a bit of fielding that was by Chris Jordan.
Picked the wrong person to slip over to, and Rizwan would have known that.
Yeah.
And that sort of blew up Sussex's game plan.
Yeah.
Sort of the blueprint they had for this game, that one bit of fielding tore it up. As Bapara on strike here to Atkinson, and Bapara, good looking shot down the ground. It would just be a single again though, as Conor McCurr comes round down below us. Throw comes into Jamie Smith, but with Ravi Bapara still there, we've seen him do it so many times. He's still a very, very gifted cricketer. Ravi Bapara makes everything look so easy. Just looks the most relaxed man in the world, the captain, down there at the non-striker's end. There's Allsop, the left-hander, back onto strike as Atkinson's in, and that's bowling him. Yeah, round his legs. Great bit of bowling, because the thing there is Allsop have been jumping outside his off stump to go leg side, and I said it 2 balls before, followed him outside that off stump. That one, he's just stuck it straight in on the base of his leg stump. That's a cracking piece of bowling. He's done Ton Allsop there, has Gus Atkinson, and the Sharks lose their 4th wicket. Allsop's gone, and they're 110 for 4 in the 15th.
And it just goes to show how a game can change, and this has been one of Sussex's problems all the way through this T20 campaign, Churchy, because at one stage Sussex are 90 for 1, 86 for 1 at the end of the power play. Then all of a sudden they lose wickets in a bundle. So you've had Orr go, brilliant bit of fielding by Jordan, gets rid of Rizwan. Tom Allsop goes, all of a sudden 4 wickets down. And it's a very fast outfield here tonight. Looks to me to be a decent track as well. And I'd have thought, for Sussex to be competitive here, you've got to be looking in excess of 160 here tonight.
And the other thing they've got is 2 more of Chris Jordan at the back end. That's the other problem they've got, because Narine will bowl the 16th, and then you know that Jordan's going to bowl his last 2 as well. But that's good bowling from Gus Atkinson. He is an impressive cricketer, Gus Atkinson, he really is. So Allsop's on his way back. He's gone for 11 there. Dalray Rawlings is out there in the middle. And it's 110 for 4. And Gus Atkinson, who picked up a couple against Somerset, has got a couple tonight. As in over the wicket he comes to Rawlings, and Rawlings' first ball just pushes up the ground towards Chris Jordan. It's well judged single. He has to skip past Chris Jordan, does Rawlings, and he's off the mark, and Bapara comes back onto strike, and 111 for 4 now, Sussex.
And they're going to have to be, Bapara will be thinking about who they're going to target, because at some stage Sussex are going to have to target at least a couple of overs here, Churchy. So I fear they're behind the game here at the moment.
Atkinson runs away from us once more, comes right arm over the wicket to Bapara, driving, beats the edge.
Good over.
Taken by Jamie Smith. And this is what I mean about Gus Atkinson. He's a hugely talented cricketer. He really is. As Conor McCurr runs off to sign a young man's bat there.
Well done.
Away to our right-hand side, so that's made his day. A Conor McCurr fan behind him, and he's just signed his miniature bat. It's very nice. His Over the wicket once again comes Gus Atkinson. Supapara forward, drives straight back to Atkinson. Very good over that from Gus Atkinson. He's sort of hidden that over. 15 gone. The wicket there of Allsop, and just 3 off it. And Narain still has one more up his sleeve. So 5 to go. 111 for 4. And Ravi Bopara on 7. Delray Rawlings has 1. And they're going to keep one of Narain back, because Conor McCurr is now going to come back into the attack from the Cromwell Road end.
Well, I think, Churchy, from a Sussex perspective, they need to score at least 10 and over from here on in, and they'll be thinking, as you say, there's 2 overs from Chris Jordan, there's 1 from Narain. So this may well be an over that they'll be thinking might have to go if they're going to get anywhere posting a total that they're going to be able to defend here tonight. It's going to be Conor McCurr, who's running in from the Cromwell Road end around the wicket to the left-handed Delray Rawlings. He's in and bowls, and Rawlings, I think that came off the thigh pad. The ball bounces out into the offside, onside I should say. We'll wait for the umpire's signal, and indeed it is a leg by, fielded there by Jamie Smith. 112 for 4. Rawlings on 1, Bopara 7. In terms of batting to come, George Garton, who hits a long ball but has played very little cricket because he's been unwell with COVID for a long time now, as poor old George. And then Rashid Khan, who we know can hit a long ball and is a useful player to come in lower down the order, but Sussex starting to run out of overs. As in comes McCurr, over the wicket, bowls to Bopara, a bit of bowling, and all Bopara can do is play it straight back down the track, and there is no run. Really impressive, this from Surrey Church. I mean, I was thinking the players who aren't playing tonight, and yet, you know, these players are able to come in, the Atkinsons, the McCurrs, and they look completely at home.
Absolutely, and Dan Worrell's still got overs in his back pocket as well. 1 for 8 for Worrell, so I expect to see him bowl 1 more, and then the 3, 1 from Narain, 2 from Jordan.
McCurr, tall man, over the wicket, bowls, and a ramp shot by Bopara, and he's going to be caught, and a very, very good catch. That's a really good piece of fielding. It was the attempted ramp shot. It's caught by Atkinson, coming running in from fine leg. It looked as if it might be a catch for Jamie Smith behind the stumps, but he called, Smith stopped. Good diving low catch, and now Sussex really are in trouble. Bopara is gone for 7, and all of a sudden 90 for 1 has become 112 for 5.
Yeah, he did really well there, Gus Atkinson, because he would have seen Jamie Smith coming towards the ball as well, and then Jamie Smith did quite well because he decided, I'm not going for this. So Gus Atkinson obviously shouted. Then Gus Atkinson would have thought, oh blimey, am I actually going to get to this, and dived full length and took the catch. So yeah, good bit of work that from Gus Atkinson, but very good bowling this from Conor McCurr as well. Terrific stuff from him this over, and Sussex have a major issue now. They really do, because they know they've got 3 overs coming, 2 from Jordan, 1 from Narain at some point. So which route you go after? It's a very, very difficult thing to do. And, you know, that run out of Rizwan, absolutely key.
It did.
Absolutely key. At that stage of the game, I said middle overs. And he's got himself run out in the 11th over, Rizwan.
And you were talking about Dan Worrell, Churchy. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 8. So there's going to be no respite here for Sussex. And you've got 2 new batsmen at the crease. Sussex really up against it here. In comes McCurr, round the wicket, bowls, and Garton just fiddles that one down towards backward point, fielded by Rory Burns. And Surrey will be quite happy with that.
Yeah, Garton's capable of hitting a very, very long ball.
Yes, he is.
Isn't he? But it's who do you go after? And McCurr's given absolutely nothing here in this over.
Intended to producer Andrew, 4 for 20. Sussex have lost in the last 5 overs. All the momentum went when Rizwan was run out. McCurr around the wicket, comes in, bowls to Rawlings as he caught down the leg side. No, I think that came off the thigh pad. Good take by Jamie Smith, diving away to his right hand side. This over, Churchy has only gone for 2 runs, a leg by and 1 run. The last over went for 3. So I think the last... the 13th over was 104, so I think the last 3 overs have gone for something like 9 runs. The squeeze is really on. round the wicket, in and bowls to Rawlins, and Rawlins, all he could do, that was a steepling delivery that Rawlins, all he could do was play it defensively out into the offside, and that's a super over, Churchy. It's only gone for a couple of runs, included a wicket as well, that of Ravi Bopara, and the Sussex Sharks now desperately looking to post a total that they've got any chance of defending. 113 for 5, Rawlins on 1, Garton on 1. At the moment, Surrey are all over Sussex.
That Rawlins is all right there. He basically punched that. He got in a horrible position to play that short ball. I think he was thinking trying to ramp it over third man, and it just jagged back at him, and he basically ended up punching the ball. I think he really felt that, Rawlins. I'm not surprised. He's ringing that left hand. He's okay. It's a cracking bit of bowling.
I think the last 4 overs, Church, you've gone for 9 runs.
Well, yeah, and Surrey had just strangled the entire innings here, and that 11th over, it was 92 for 1 when Ali Orr went. He went for 30, and Rizwan run out for 48, and since then, nothing's happened really for Sussex. 113 for 5 they are. Garton's on strike, and here's Chris Jordan coming round the wicket. Garton's down the pitch, and outside edge flies down to Moriarty at third man, and the throw comes in. So this is the 17th over. But someone's got to push the button here.
Well, they have, absolutely. I mean, 130, 140 is not going to be enough. So someone, as you say, both of these two are fine strikers of a cricket ball. Still Rashid Khan to come, but the trouble is Sussex are running out of overs.
Well, that's the thing. Garton can hit a long ball, and Rawlings can hit a long ball, but it'd be awful if Rashid doesn't get out there, because he is very capable of changing an innings. In comes Jordan, shot, Delray Rawlings. Lovely shot, just swinging from back of the length over the leg side for 6. They need a few more of those.
They do.
He is a lovely player, this boy. He really is. And he swings that from just back of the length off towards that short leg side boundary into the old pavilion it goes. And Rawlings moves on to 7. That's woken the crowd up. 120 for 5, Sussex.
Yeah, I think that actually bounced out the ground. I lost the flight of it as it was sort of disappearing towards the boundary edge, but a huge... And you're quite right with Delray Rawlings. I mean, he's a wonderful cricketer. The problem is you only see flashes of it in bits and pieces. If he could put the whole thing together, he really could be an outstanding cricketer. Just that sort of shot. And maybe this is his night. Big crowd, big occasion. But Sussex need 2 or 3 more like that, and it's not going to be easy.
It's a well-struck shot, firmly struck shot that from Rawlings. We've got a ball, so we can continue with the game.
That's good.
That's good news. And it's Chris Jordan coming round the wicket to the left-handed Rawlings, and short again, and Rawlings has a swing at this, and that's past the edge. That was quicker from Jordan.
Yeah, I'll tell you
sort
what.
of saying to Delray Rawlings, good luck with pulling that one.
Yeah, and Chris Jordan would know Delray Rawlings very well from his time down here at Sussex. But that was a quick delivery. He's not got the longest run up in the world, has he, Chris Jordan? But he's still, we've got no speed gun or anything like that, but that's well in excess of 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was a good quick delivery to Rawlings, and he was a little bit late on it. And clever bit of bowling that from Chris Jordan. As in round the wicket he comes again to Rawlings, and Rawlings straight down the ground. Now that's a shot. That is a shot for 6. Straight down the ground. And every time I see this boy bat, I think, why is he not scoring more runs? Because that is just a gorgeous shot down the ground for 6. 126 for 5. Not many do that to Chris Jordan. And that's a lovely bit of batting from Delray Rawlings. And the crowd, as I said, woken up now. Rawlings on to 13.
Well, you see it every time you see him bat, and we do see this from Delray Rawlings. He's just not consistent enough. But he's got all the talent. It's all there, isn't it? And he'll bowl as well, and he's terrific in the field. So he's got all the attributes.
What does he do now? He doesn't need to go big again here. he's done enough in this over. Jordan's in and he's flicking this, and that's for 4. Not where he expected it to go. It's flown off the outside edge, whistles down to the third man boundary rope, but the shot before made that shot because they had to bring third man up to bring another player across to go down to long on and long off, and that's exactly where that ball's gone. So the 6 before basically helped him with that boundary. So Rawlings on to 17, and the Sharks are 130 for 5, and Jordan is going to switch back over the wicket now. So he goes back over the wicket, does Chris Jordan. Good stuff this from Delray Rawlings, 17 from 8. As Jordan's over the wicket once again to Rawlings, and Rawlings slaps this one straight at Worrell at extra cover, who does the fielding. The end of the Jordan over, but a better one for the Sussex Sharks. 17 off Chris Jordan's over, and the Sharks are 130 for 5.
It looks like Narayan is going to bowl this next over from the Cromwell Road end. Interesting there with Chris Jordan, because they talk as well about getting out of an over. Now he's gone for 17, he's been hit for 2 sixes, but interestingly the last ball of the over was a dot ball. And Rawlings was annoyed that he didn't get that away. However, 18 more deliveries to go. Sussex now on 130. If they could score 10 and over off these last 3 overs, they'll give them at least something to bowl at. I think 160 here tonight is absolute minimum as far as Sussex are concerned. As in comes Narayan, bowls to Garton, who doesn't time that at all. Plays it one to the leg side. They've taken one. They can think about 2, but I think that'll be suicidal if they do, because Jacks is in very quickly. Oh, actually not a good throw, and not taken by Jamie Smith, but backed up by Dan Worrell. And Garton goes to 3. Well, they've got Rawlings back on strike, and he's clearly seeing the ball. Is Delray Rawlings. So, you know, that's perhaps a single that Sussex will be pleased they've taken. But it's Narayan. Comes in around the wicket, bowls to Rawlings, and Rawlings, he was caught in 2 minds. He was going to cut that through backward point. In the end, he just put it with a flat bat down the ground, fielded at mid-off, and it's 1 more to Rawlings. He goes to 18, and the Sharks to 132 for 5.
I think he had about 8 shots in his mind there. He was thinking of sweeping it, then cutting it, and in the end just pushed it for a single.
Narayan is going to bowl to the left-handed George Garton, who's on 3 off 3 deliveries. And he comes and bowls, and reverse hit by George Garton. He just dribbles into the covers. He picks up a single.
See, the problem with Narayan as well is, because you can't see that ball, he can spot what you're doing before you can spot what he's doing. So he spotted what Garton was up to there.
He comes Narayan, 133 for 5. Bowls to Rawlings. Rawlings looks to pull that one away on the leg side. He manages to work the ball down to find leg. Is it a leg by? No, it is 1 off the bat. Rawlings goes to 19. Sussex 134 for 5. But after the expensive last over from Chris Jordan that went for 17, this over has so far gone for just 4. As in comes Narayan again from the Cromwell Road. And bowls to Garton, who hits that one away. That's a good shot by George Garton. That really is a good shot. He just stepped away to the leg side, and he crunched the ball away through the covers for 4 runs. Just what Sussex needed. Garton goes to 8, and the Sharks to 138 for 5. That was a good shot.
Yeah, stayed a lot stiller. He didn't premeditate there, Garton. He waited that time for Narayan, and that's a lovely bit of cricket from George Garton.
There's no protection on that offside boundary. As in comes Narayan again, bowls, and Garton is at it again. He's going to get 4 more as well. Exactly the same area. Good shot by George Garton. Just stepped away and belted the ball away through the covers and picked up his 2nd boundary. So Narayan, who's bowled beautifully here tonight, his final over though goes for 12 runs, and the Sharks after 18 overs are 142 for 5. Well, we said if Sussex were to get anything defendable, I think 160 is the minimum requirement. So another 18 and the minimum. Whether that's enough against this very powerful batting Surrey side remains to be seen. But I think Sussex have given themselves a chance if they can get sort of, well, a minimum 18 off the last couple of overs.
Well, Narayan finishes with none for 25, but fair play to George Garton there, because there aren't many this season that have hit Narayan for back-to-back boundaries with 2 very good shots. But again, you take those out. No, you can't, but you take those out. He's been hit for a couple of boundaries, none for 25 off his 4. So still his most expensive figures, 2 for 28, Narayan in the competition. It's going to be Dan Worrell to bowl the 19th over from the C end. Rawlings the man on strike on 19 as Worrell is into.
Oh.
Whoa, hello. That's very wide outside the off stump. Think Steve Harmison. If you can remember that, 2006. Ashes
Well, he bowled
it straight to Freddie Flintoff at first slip. That did come out a bit wrong from Mr. Worrell there. If you could get 2 wides, I think that would have been it. But that's 1 more to the total, and we've still got. Just looking at the clock, I did mention the clock. They've got to get through this over Surrey. As in comes Worrell again. This is Rawlings. This is a great shot for 6. That has gone square of long off. Chris Jordan out there on a length, and Rawlings has swung it away for 6. He's on to 25. Rawlings is 149 for 5. Brilliant stuff this from Delray Rawlings.
Lovely little cameo, isn't it? 25 off 12. We've said it so many times. He's such a good player. He's got all the talent in the world. We just don't see enough of it. And if we could see it consistently, Delray Rawlings has got the makings of a very, very fine cricketer.
Well, he's got all the shots. He really has. I've always thought this with him, but it's got to do it week in, week out.
Well, Sussex now, there's still 11 balls to go. We'll be thinking, well, 160 is a minimum here. We might even get to 170. Don't want to be greedy, but
I think from where they were, and they're doing this at the back end of the innings as well. Rawlings 25 off 12 deliveries. As Worrell will switch to round the wicket now to Delray Rawlings. And Rawlings, boy's got leg side this time, thrown the bottom hand into it. That's away for 4 as well. Well played, Delray Rawlings. Which is really good from him. And he moves on to 29, and Chris Jordan's wandering up to have a word with Dan Worrell. But that's 153, so the 150 comes up now for the Sussex Sharks in the 19th over. Delray Rawlings is on to 29, but again, looking to go length there was Dan Worrell. Rawlings just threw that bottom hand into it, and that flew off into the leg side and away for 4 more. So a long chat here between Worrell and Jordan. Will there be any changes in the field? No, he's going to come. Was he coming round? No, he's coming over.
Yeah.
Thought about coming round for a second. Did Dan Worrell. Over the wicket he comes once more to the left-handed Rawlings, and Rawlings again wide outside that off stump. Wide is the signal. So you've got to keep an eye on that clock, because they've got to start that last over at 19 minutes past. They're on 17 now. If they're not there, they lose one of their fielders outside the circle. Sorry, 154 for 5. I did mention it earlier on.
You did.
And they do take a little bit of time over all this. Chris Jordan's down below us at long off. The wides haven't helped as Worrell's in again, and that's a cracking shot from Delray Rawlings. That's a brilliant bit of batting from Delray Rawlings. There's a touch of the Brian Charles Lara's about that from Rawlings, and just slightly over pitch from Worrell, and that hammered away over extra cover. Whistles away for 4. Rawlings, what an innings this is. He's on to 33, 158 for 5.
Well, that's a cracking knock, isn't it? As you say, 33 off 14, and we were wondering a couple of overs ago if Sussex will get anywhere near 160. Well, they should go well past that now.
Waits again, does Rawlings. Worrell is into him, and Rawlings swings into the leg side, hits the pad. He feels he's missed out there. Fine leg was on the edge of the circle. Any bat on that, and it would have flown over Narine. But it's leg buys. Worrell's running back because he's seen the clock now. Dan Worrell, 159
Still got
for
2 balls to
5.
go.
Yeah, they're not going to get there. So I think Surrey will only have 4 outside the circle for the last over. As in comes Worrell once again. Whoa, swing and a miss here from Garton because he pushed it wider as Garton went outside the off stump. Garton's lost his footing, ends up on his knees, and it's in the gloves of Jamie Smith, moving away to his left-hand side.
Could have been worse this over, actually. Well, we'll see what happens with this delivery.
159 for 5. 17 off this over as well. As Worrell is into Garton, and Garton drives firmly out there towards the sweeper on the cover rope. That's Jack. So Surrey will nip round very, very quickly, but the umpires straight away looking at their watches. I think Surrey are behind here. They're going to lose a fielder. They'll only be allowed the 4 outside the circle here. Surrey, that's the way. It used to be 6-run penalty.
Yes, it did.
But now you're only allowed the 4 outside the circle. You lose a man.
And will this be decided? Was it when he gets in position?
Yeah, I think the umpires will then tell Chris Jordan.
I think they're just about all right, Churchy.
Really?
2019. I just wonder whether it's... I haven't seen a signal from the umpires. Let's see how many...
They were looking at their watches. I think Surrey have absolutely dodged one there. I really do. I think they've absolutely dodged that of Surrey.
Well, Chris Jordan's going to bowl the last over of the innings. He's going to bowl from the Cromwell Road end, 160 for 5. Rawlings on 33 off 15, but it's George Garton who's on strike. He's in and bowls. He got pulls away. It's got Miles. Whoa! That's disappeared into the flats. Too short from Chris Jordan, and George Garton pulled it away. Over square leg for 6 runs. Lovely shot. This partnership between these two is now, that's the 50 partnership. I think that's partnership of 52.
They've done brilliantly here, these two, because it's who they've done it against as well. And that one, it hit the roof of an accounting firm and skipped away, because they've got their little corporate box there.
They have.
Away to our right-hand side. So that flew off into the flats. It sort of was like an aeroplane taking off.
Yeah, last week he went down on 112, so this partnership is now worth 53 between these two. 54, sorry. As Jordan's back to his mark. Comes in from the Cromwell Road in, bowls to Garton, then that's wider of the off stump. Has he got a little nick on that George Garton, taken by Jamie Smith. Puff of dust. Well, this makes it a contest. I think, Sussex have said, I'm not saying Surrey aren't going to get them, but, it's a contest now.
Brilliant from these two, because... basically, from a Surrey perspective, it had all gone according to plan.
Yes.
Sussex's plan was in there for Rizwan to be there when the Rhine came on and all that good stuff. Then that got ripped up when he got run out. But these two have had to do this against some quality death bowlers, and they've done it brilliantly.
Jordan. And bowls, and Garton hammers that one away through the offside. That's going to go for 4 runs as well. Back to a square on the offside. Drilled away by George Garton for another boundary. Garton goes to 23 off 11, with he's showing no ill effects of long COVID tonight. Lovely shots by George Garton. And the Sharks go to 170 for 5.
The other thing I would say is it shows what a good pitch this is as well. The way these two have gone about it, it shows what a good surface this is as well, and actually how difficult it can be to defend on here on a surface like this, because these two have batted beautifully so far.
Garton 23, 170 for 5. Jordan in, bowls, and Garton paddles that one around the... That was a strange shot, wasn't it? He's going to get a single for it, George Garton. Sorry, won't worry too much about that. 171 for 5. Garton to 24. The score after 17 overs was 130 for 5. So the last...
41.
Yeah. So it's been a very, very productive...
Yeah, and it's who that's against as well. That's against 2 Jordan overs,
one
a Rhine over and a Worrell over.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, 2 balls to go. What can Delray Rawlings? He's batted beautifully. He's given Sussex at least something to bowl at. He's on 33. And he waits as Chris Jordan comes running in down the hill. Bowls to Rawlings, the player to miss outside of... That's a good bit of bowling by Chris Jordan. All his experience there. Rawlings stepped away to the leg side, and Jordan angled the ball across the left-hander, taken by Smith. And there is no run. 11 off the over.
Sorry, is it Bermuda or the Bahamas?
Bermuda.
Oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, I think both are very nice. I mean...
Have you not asked if they need that series covered, Adrian Harms?
Yeah. It would be tremendous, wouldn't it? Rawlings waits. Final ball of the innings. He's done his bit. Delray Rawlings, 33 of 16 deliveries. As in comes Jordan, bowls, and Rawlings plays it round to the onside. They've taken one. That's all they'll take, as Chris Jordan's around very quickly to field. Finishes the over well, does Chris Jordan. However, there's 12 off the final over, and the Sussex Sharks have posted 172 for 5, and a partnership of 60 between Rawlings and Garton that's come And pretty much the last 4 overs of the innings, 4 and a bit overs, have really given Sussex to bowl, something to bowl at.
Brilliant from those two, absolutely brilliant. And again, I'll go back to what I said, it's who they did it against as well. Absolutely terrific stuff. Would you mind, Mr. Hobbs, passing me my little blue book, which is just above Mr. Cantor's little blue book as well?
Looks like my maths exercise book.
Yes, I like the old school way of doing things. But I'm just having a little look at what side scored against Surrey in terms of with the bat, and the biggest was Hampshire's 228, and then 208 from. No, apologies. I've got my columns wrong. I'm just looking. I think that's the third highest total that Surrey have conceded so far in the 2020 this season. So it's pretty good from Sussex. Surrey do like chasing, but that's the third highest total that Surrey have conceded in the tournament so far. So they've given themselves something to bowl at there, and brilliant from Rawlings and Garton at the back end, Johnny Cantor.
Really nice contest at the end, wasn't it? And I'm sure with, you've got Chris Jordan knowing Rawlings knowing Jordan, a little bit of that, but those could be very, very useful runs.
Oh, without a doubt. They'd have been way off. Without those runs, they'd have been out the game. And I think, again, it was interesting, wasn't it? The sort of blueprint and plan from both sides almost got exploded by Rizwan getting run out when he did. But then Rawlings and Garton have gone in against, and I'll say it again, that was against 2 Chris Jordan overs, 1 Narine over and 1 Borrell over. That's 3 quality bowlers. I thought Rawlings played some gorgeous shots, and then Garton middled a couple, and that 60 runs could be absolutely crucial come the end of this game.
We shall find out whether they are crucial. Mark and Adrian will be back in a short while for the Surrey reply. They require 173 to win here at the county ground in Hove. It's a perfect evening. The sun descending away to the west. The Sussex bowlers just warming themselves up. But before that reply from Surrey, we'll get some reaction from Surrey's Jamie Overton, who made his debut for England in the Test match at Headingley earlier today. We'll also get you up to date with the latest elsewhere in the T20 Blast. Yes, I'm Johnny Cantor, live on BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio Surrey on digital radio, and of course on the BBC Sport website as well. Surrey require 173 to win here at the county ground. There is another game going on in the South Group. It's Somerset against the Hampshire Hawks down at Taunton, and Somerset will require 209 to win. Hampshire Hawks finishing their 20 overs on 208 for 5, in no short way down to 129 not out from James Fitz, who's rapidly heading towards the total that Luke Wright has in terms of T20 runs in the T20 Blast, and that is a great knock from him. Prescott 62 as well, but that is certainly some impressive batting there from James Vince. 10 sixes and 9 fours in his innings. Big total there for Somerset to chase. Elsewhere, Derbyshire are 79 for 3, chasing down 248 to win against the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Highly unlikely that they're going to manage that. And also Middlesex, they are 65 for 3 after just over 10 overs, chasing down 162 to win against Essex at Lords. So maybe still in the balance, but 2 relatively low totals there. In the North Group, this is a fair bit of action going down to our left-hand side with a few games going on the outfield. Lancashire Lightning going so well in the Northern Group. They're 133 for 6. Lancashire and Surrey really the dominant sides in this competition. And earlier today, Yorkshire Vikings beat Worcestershire, reaching their target of 151 with the loss of 5 wickets. So that's you bang up to date with what's happening elsewhere in the T20 Blast. Well, what about the Test match? Well, New Zealand closed day 1 of the third and final Test against England at Headingley on 225 for 5. England bowled well in the first 2 sessions, reducing the tourists to 123 for 5 at tea. But Daryl Mitchell and Tom Blundell frustrated the bowlers yet again with an unbroken stand of 102. Well, Surrey's Jamie Overton made his Test debut and celebrated by taking a wicket, bowling Devon Conway off an inside edge. Well, Test match special Simon Mann caught up with Overton to ask him how he felt.
Yeah, thanks very much, Johnny. I mean, absolutely right. What a glorious evening. I love this time. I mean, last night it was light until about 10 o'clock. I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful time of year. Floodlights are on. The players are wandering out. The Surrey opening pair of Will Jackson and Jamie Smith coming out. Sussex they've given themselves half a chance here, I think. They can't say that too much in the T20s this year. But 172, well, it's sort of world-beating score, but it's only a challenging total.
Defendable, definitely with the bowling attack that Sussex have got. I looked at the Sussex team tonight, thought to myself, that's a pretty good bowling attack they've got, and a certain Rashid has 4 overs as well, which will be interesting. That song, it's the most wonderful time of the year that they always play at Christmas. I've always disagreed with that. This is, for me, now, wonderful now. This is absolutely ideal at the moment, nice and warm, blue sky, cracking game of cricket on our hands.
I was reading up in somewhere up in the Orkney Islands at the moment, Church. I think it gets lighted about 20 to 4 in the morning and it gets dark about 11 o'clock, so you just get masses of light. So,
the longest day of the year.
Yes, it was. It was. There's always a mate of mine who posts something on social media and says, oh, that's it, the nights are drawing in.
Oh, he's an optimistic fella.
I always think, oh, here we go again. Anyway, we're back underway. Now, George Garton, who's back in the Sussex side tonight, is going to open in the bowling from the C end of the ground. So those of you who don't know Hove, it means he's running up the hill away from us in our commentary box. We've got probably the best view in the house. As in comes Garton to bowl to Will Jacks. He's going to bowl, and Jacks is on his way straight away with the boundary, drills the ball down the ground, full toss, and just belted down the ground by Will Jacks. But he didn't need to belt it, he just eased the ball down the ground. But Para was chasing across from mid-off, but you know from experience that once the ball beats the fielder here, it just races away for 4 runs. So super start as far as Surrey are concerned. Jack's on his way with the boundary. George Garton just adjusts his bowling marker. He's got one of those silver discs that he's just slightly moved the positioning of as he comes in. He's going to get number 16 on the back of his 15 rather than shirt. He's in a bowl, and they're kept low actually. Jack's looking to work that one away. The ball's just down in front of him. There is no run fielded by the eager Rawlins, who was opened the bowling quite well. Ray Rawlins this season in T20, but not tonight.
Well, the thing is, Garton will be all fired up because he's 24 knocked out. Rawlins will be in a pretty good mood. I thought there at that point. I was going to say it'd be interesting to see what Garton does off this pitch. But obviously the first 3 was a full toss. But second one, just get a little bit low on Will Jacks.
Running away from us is in a bowls and pulled away to the leg side. That's going to race away down Andrew Mills in pursuit. I think that's going to go for 4 runs as well. Wait for the umpire's signal. And indeed, she just turned around to me and said they are leg buys. Indeed they are. Down the leg side. Tamil Mills up inside the circle. No chance. The ball raced past him and up to the boundary. 8 of the first 4 balls. And a good start here by Surrey.
Straight off his thigh guard. I think just looking to pull that. Probably a good job for Garton. Didn't get any bat on that, but nice start this for Surrey.
Garton. Miggins just in involved and drive beautifully. That's going to be 4 ball played away by Para in hot pursuit towards the boundary. He's got no chance of cutting that off. Just slightly over the pitch by George Garton. Will just lent into that balloon over Para. Mid-off stroke extra cover and rolled away downhill. 3 boundaries in the opening over Surrey 12 without loss.
The only thing I did think when Garton were going against those 3 Laurel, Jordan and Neil Ryan, this must be a good pitch. If you're going against those 3 like that, this must be a good surface.
George Garton in a game bowls and round about the side. Had rather anxious as the ball bobbles down in front of him. There is no run. Actually, Chris Jordan, very unusually, Chris Jordan went for 46 in his 4 overs. Other than that, Moriarty 2 overs for 24, Worrell 3 overs, 1 for 25, Jacks 2 overs for 19, Atkinson 3 overs, 2 for 17, maybe the pick of the bowling. Colin Kerr 2 overs, 1 for 14, and Senna Ryan 4 overs, 0 for 25. So he still hasn't conceded Churchy more than 28. Wow.
His worst figures are 1 for 28 in the competition. So
disgraceful. Changing the field here, Steve Fiddler's come down here to long on. The field outside the boundary is at deep mid-wicket as Garton is on his way and Jacks wasn't quite ready, so the umpire says you're going to have to abort your run up to George Garton. Stun has pretty much disappeared from view in terms of spreading across the outfield. It's still sitting away in the west as we look out of our commentary boxes. George Garton is in bowls. That's another full toss, and that's going to be 4 more runs. And I'm afraid that's not a very good opening over from George Garton, who's really annoyed with himself, and he kicks away at the pitch. Hasn't played much cricket as George, and he's absolutely furious with himself. It was a full toss, swinging away outside the off stump. And Jack said thanks very much and belted his third 4 of the over. So the opening over, and Surrey off to a flyer, 16 without loss.
Yeah, a little bit rusty that over.
Yeah, quite possibly. From George Garton. I was a little surprised. He's a fine cricketer, George, but he hasn't played much cricket. So, it's perhaps a big ask to say, well, can you bowl the opening over in the power play? Nonetheless, that's what's happened. And Jax, who's a fine player, I don't know what he's averaging in this competition, but he just, every time I look at a Surrey scorecard, Jax seems to score runs, Churchy.
Yeah, he's a wonderful player in this form of the game. And the other thing, of course, is he's been scoring his runs in the Championship as well this season. It's going to be Stephen Finn from the Cromwell Road end, right arm over the wicket to Jamie Smith. And Smith nudges his first ball out towards deep backward square. He'll take a single, and that will move Surrey up to 17 without loss. 6 against Glamorgan in the opening game for Will Jacks, then 51 against Gloucestershire, 64 against Hampshire, 2 against Kent, 17 against Glamorgan, 57 against Sussex, 9 against Middlesex, 43 against Middlesex in the game at the Kia Oval, and then of course the 67 not out t'other evening against Somerset, and was there at the end, 66 not out and was there at the end. So yeah, he's in prime nick at the moment is Will Jacks. Stephen Finn's brought his third man up to the edge of the circle and has got 2 back on that leg side boundary rope. As over the wicket then comes Finn to Jacks, and Jacks back of the leg just turns this one into the leg side. That rolls up towards mid-on, and there is no run.
And it's all suggests as well, Church, that it's all bash, 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 because if he was 66 not out, he clearly shepherded the Surrey through the other night.
He did. It all went slightly wrong in the last over, in that he only saw 1 ball of the last over and was stuck up the non-strikers then. But it was a very, very good innings from Will Jacks. As over the wicket once more comes Stephen Finn to him, and he's right up on his toes. That's nicely bowled by Stephen Finn. Jacks gets a bat on it. He's going to need a new bat here, straight away, because he was sort of looking at the toe end of his bat in the last over, because I think the final delivery he hit for 4 off Garton, came straight off the toe, and that might be his favourite bat. Just from the reaction, that might be his favourite bat, Will Jacks, because he looks a bit upset that bat's cracked. Here is Finn once more over the wicket to Jamie Smith, and Smith turns him into the leg side. They'll take a single, and Jamie Smith will move on to 2. Surrey moving on to 19 without loss in the second over of their run chase, needing 173 to win this one. Here on BBC Sussex, BBC Surrey, BBC Radio London, the BBC Sports website, the BBC Sport app, the Sussex live stream. He's probably somewhere else as well that I don't know about. Now he's got his new bat as well, but he looked a little bit like if you get a puncture on your favourite bike when you're a kid, and you have to change the tyre. So he's got a new bat in his hands as Will Jacks. As over the wicket comes Stephen Finn to him, and he's bowled a full toss, which Jacks has whipped out towards deep mid-wicket. He'll take a single. Will Jacks.
Lucky to get away with that, wasn't he, Steve Finn?
He's on to 14, does Will Jacks. Surrey 20 without loss in the second. The sun is just dipping down away to our left. I did enjoy watching the buses this afternoon in Hove with the names. It's quite a good game, that. If you gave a people, right, a list of names, whose names are on those buses, and you had to, a bit like the old I Spy birds, and tick off the number you saw. So every time you see their name, lovely, nice way to spend the day when the sun's out. As over the wicket once more comes Stephen Finn, and Smith has jumped outside his leg stump, hit it straight up to Ravi Bapara. Stephen Finn fell over on his follow through. That's a very eventful dot ball, because Stephen Finn ended up doing a forward roll. Jamie Smith jumped outside his leg stump, hit it straight up to Ravi Bopara. It's the end of the over, 2 have gone, and Surrey are 20 without loss, chasing 173.
Well, in the main, Steve Finn has had a good T20 campaign for Sussex. He's been very economical, not so on Sunday down at Glamorgan, where the penultimate over of the match went for 19 in a game that Glamorgan won, and indeed the winning hit was a 6 by James Wheel over long on. But in general terms, Steve Finn has done well. Now, this is interesting. Rashid Khan into the attack in the 3rd over. Now, I don't know if that was always the plan, or whether that opening over going for 16 has rather changed Ravi Bopara's plans, but it is going to be Rashid Khan. There was a lot of Afghan supporters down in Cardiff on Sunday, and after the game, he did every autograph, every selfie. He's a terrific ambassador for the game, is Rashid Khan.
Well, while I was sitting waiting for the buses this afternoon, this was another name I was very much looking forward to having a watch today, Mr. Rashid Khan. Absolute genius, this fella.
He's going to be bowling to Will Jacks, who's on 14. Sorry, off to a good start. 20 without loss. In comes Khan and bowls. And Jacks drives to the offside. What a super shot that is. Well, he's got a great reputation as Rashid Khan, but Will Jacks is not worried about reputations. He just clubbed the ball through the offside. Lovely shot for 4 runs. Sorry, 24 without loss.
It doesn't matter if you're the best bowler in the world. If you take the pitch out of the equation, you've got a major issue, because that one didn't bounce. So Will Jacks has just stood there and smashed the full toss straight through the covers for 4. So call that a loosener from Rashid Khan.
Jacks to 18. Khan in again, bowls, and Jacks clips one straight to mid-wicket, where it's fielded by Alistair Orr, and there is no run. Here's Mark. Jacks twiddles his new bat, having already broken 1. Will Jacks is on 18 off 11 as in comes Khan and bowls, and that short pulled away by Jacks, and there's going to be more runs, at least 1, and just 1 actually. Perhaps a little lucky to get away with that. Rashid Khan throw comes in from Tom Alsop at deep square leg. 1 more to Jacks, and he goes down, has a little word to his partner Jamie Smith.
He's probably saying, watch out if that one skids on, because that one almost skidded underneath the bat of Will Jacks.
Jacks to 19, Surrey 25 without loss. Rashid Khan is in again, bowl short. Jamie Smith works this. That's a very good bit of fielding in there by Delray Rawlings. Well, he said, he's just got everything. He just needs to put it all together, Delray Rawlings. That was a very good bit of fielding. Nice looking shot as well by Smith, who's on 2. Khan in again, bowls, and this one, another good stop by Rawlings. Perhaps it's going to be his night. Diving away at short extra cover, and it prompts Rashid Khan to run across and give him sort of the 5 high. Well fielded. He's saved a couple of boundaries there as Delray Rawlings. 1 more ball to go in this opening over from Rashid Khan. Just gone for 5 runs so far. Now they want to change this leg side field. The deep backward square, Tom Alsop, is coming a little squarer. Quite a bit squarer actually, almost to an orthodox mid-wicket position. Khan is happy. Rizwan directing things behind the stumps as well. Khan in bowls, and Smith works this one to backward point. Good opening over by Rashid Khan, just conceding the 5 runs, and Surrey are 25 without loss. Jacks on 19, Smith on 2.
Yeah, after that first delivery, he's come back very well in that over, has Rashid Khan. And first delivery, big bunging full toss, driven away through the covers. Apologies on the live stream. I think we might be sounding a little bit echoey apparently on the live stream. Nothing to do with us, mind you.
No.
Not a lot we can do from here. But just apologies to anyone if we're sounding a little bit echoey apparently.
Right.
Nothing's changed at our end.
No, we've still got all our lights are on and okay. So if the club could just let us know, if someone could just drop me something on the WhatsApp group to let me know it's all going out, the commentary on the live stream.
Definitely going out. It's just sounding a bit echoey apparently. But there we are. We might say something that is so good that you hear it 18 times. As Tamal Mills is into the attack from the Cromwell Road end.
It is echoing apparently on the stream as well, so I think I'm going to read
No, it's not on the. No, it's just on the stream, Mr. Hunt.
Oh, okay.
On the BBC. So in round the wicket comes Tamal Mills, and this is tucked into the leg side by Will Jacks, and he'll pick up a single, and Will Jacks moves on to 20. And Surrey move on to 26 without loss. I think all fine on the BBC. I think just on the live stream it's sounding a little bit echoey at the moment as Jamie Smith comes back on to strike. Of course, only the 2 allowed outside the circle. Those at the moment, sort of sweeper on the cover point rope and a deep backward square as Tamal Mills, left arm round the wicket he comes, and forward goes Jamie Smith and just pushes this one into the leg side. They'll pick up a single, and that'll be 1 more to the total. Jacks moves back onto strike on 20, and Smith down there at the non-strikers then just indicates to Will Jacks that just came back a little bit at him as Jacks wanders off towards square leg. Ooh, someone away to our right hand side with the Chennai Super Kings Dhoni shirt there, down to our right hand side. I'm sure he's going to get that signed by Mr. Dhoni today. As down the slope comes Tamal Mills, left arm round the wicket to Jack, shot boy, up and over extra cover, and 1 bounce and away for 4. Again, that just says to me this is a really good pitch, and that has whistled away for 4. Will Jacks on to 24, and Surrey move on to 31 without loss in the 4th over. But saw a bit of that from Delray Rawlings at the back end of the innings, and Will Jacks is doing up top here for Surrey at the moment. I think there was a little bit of jump around that tune, just going round Hove there. I can't remember the string quartet that sung that. As left arm round the wicket comes to Mal Mills. Oh, he's done it again. That's even further. That's
miles.
A wonderful shot from Will Jacks. Over extra cover, straight into the crowd for 6. And you have got to be a good player to do that to Tamal Mills. You really have. And Jacks moves on to 30. Naughty shot that. 37 without loss. Surrey in the 4th over, but just a gorgeous clean swing of the bat. The confidence to do it. Slightly over pitched. And away for 6. He's gone 4-6 here off the last 2. As Will Jacks. Mills left arm round the wicket, he comes once again to Jacks. Oh, he's done him again, up and over extra cover, 1 bounce for 4. Brilliant batting from Will Jacks, absolutely brilliant batting from Will Jacks. 4-6-4, all with shots. Tamal Mills down the slope, left arm round the wicket, he's quick, coming into you on that angle, and he's just opening up that bat and putting him straight over the top. He knows he's only got that man back covering on the cover point boundary rope and a deep backward square, so he's just targeting over the top of the cover ring. Will Jacks, he's on to 34, 41 without loss. Tamal Mills once again is into Jack short this time, no great surprise. Oh, that's hit him amidships. As he looks to pull, he'll just check the furnitures. Yep, it's all where it should be. And then Will Jacks wanders off towards square leg. So a little moral victory there, I think it's fair to say, for Mr. Mills with the last ball of the over. End of it, 4 gone. And Surrey 41 without loss.
Well, what a start for Surrey. At the same stage, Sussex were 24 without loss. Now, Stephen Finn has been moved from the Cromwell Road end to the C end of the ground, and they've only bowled Rashid come on for 1 over, so he's still got 3 up his sleeve. But Jacks has put down a marker here, hasn't he? I mean, you were saying you thought it was a good pitch, Churchy, and whether or not the plan was for Steve Finn to bowl the 5th over, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Surrey off to a flyer, 41 without loss.
Well, actually, quite rightly, House of Pain it was that sung jump around, which is about right for that delivery.
In comes Finn and bowls, pulled away, that's gone for 4 runs, 2 short from Steve Finn. And Jamie Smith, who's only faced 7 deliveries, just pulled that away to mid-wicket for 4 runs. He goes to 7, and Surrey are moving along very smoothly here, 45 without loss. And we're in the 5th over. Lovely shot by Smith, 2 short from Finn.
It's a good pitch. It's a good pitch. And we saw that with Rawlings and Garton at the back end of the Sussex innings.
Finn in again, bowls to Smith, and Smith, 6 runs. So that's just glory. This is sort of an exhibition, really, in these opening few overs. I mean, it's just pitched up and it's just drilled straight down the ground by Jamie Smith for 6 runs. It's relatively short, the boundary down the ground, but that's a wonderful shot by Smith. It's just hammered away effortlessly, really. He goes to 13, and Surrey 50 is up, 51 without loss, and we're only in the 5th over.
Go to the back of the class, Jamie Smith, do me some lines, because that's silly, because he hasn't even hit that. He's just eased it straight back over Steve Finn's head for 6. That is the most gorgeous looking cricket shot from Jamie Smith. Whatever happens now, I'm going to go home happy after that shot. Beautiful piece of batting from Jamie Smith.
51 without loss. Surrey. In comes Finn. Bowls to Smith, who just works this one through square leg. They've taken one, that's all they'll take, fielded there by Tom Alsop. Smith goes to 15 off 11. Surrey to 52 without loss. But I'm going to do it at the end of the over, just to give the stream a chance to reboot. I'm just going to quickly redial the number.
But you'll lose it on the BBC.
I will, yeah, just for a second.
Fine on that.
Yeah, but I don't know why it's not.
No, up to you, Mr. Harms.
I think we'll just do that very quickly, just to warn people. There will be a 15-second delay at the end of the over. As in comes Finn, running in and bowls, and again Smith just works that through square leg, picks up a comfortable single, fielded by George Gardner. He'll just disappear for a moment to producer Andrew, and then we'll reconnect. So we're doing this to try and help the club a bit. I think there's probably a problem with their broadcasting equipment, but we'll just see it. It's early in the innings, and there'll probably a lot of people watching the stream as well. Give it a chance as Finn. 2 balls left in this over, 12 off the over so far, 53 without loss. He's in and bowled. Oh, he's played in the air and he's out! Really good catch by Rashid Khan, and Jamie Smith is out. He was trying to make room, he backed away to the leg side. He's played to extra cover. Rashid Khan is there, he takes the catch, and Jamie Smith is on his way. Surrey lose their first wicket on 53.
Yeah, and Jamie Smith there, just looking to whip it leg side, gets a leading edge. That's a very good catch from Rashid Khan, because it hardly got above the grass, and he's dived full length forward and taken a very, very good catch there as Rashid Khan. So 53 for 1, and this is good. Nico Reefer coming out to a proper bat, coming out at 3 for Surrey, so this will be good for him as well to get a proper bat out there.
Don't know much about Nico Reefer. Tell us about him.
Very talented boy, Surrey boy. He's come over from, I think, the family Barbados, but just a very talented all-round player. Saw him a bit in the one-day stuff last season. He's played some lovely shots, but he made his T20 debut the other night against Somerset. First ball 4, second ball York by Peter Siddle, but this sort of is a sensible move from Surrey. If he's going to play, get him up there and get him in early. So he's going to get some time to bat here, is Nico Reefer.
See Ali Orr down here. He's a wonderfully enthusiastic cricketer, is Ali Orr. He's played mainly championship cricket, Churchy, but I'm sure he's got some mates or maybe his parents sitting above us up here, and he's just enjoying being out on the field in front of a big crowd here at Hove. So Reefer waits. Finn. Sorry, 53 for 1. Last ball of the 5th over. He's in a bowl, and Reefer just defends to backward point. There is no. There's going to be a brief pause. Just going to do something with our stream, and I'll be back with you. Back to Hove, and I'm going to leave you with Mark Church and with Johnny Cantor.
So Will Jacks will be the man on strike. 53 for 1 after 5. That wicket of Jamie Smith. Crocom's into the attack from the Cromwell Road End coming right arm over the wicket to Will Jacks. He's back of a length, and Jacks is pushing out into the offside. Welcome back, Johnny Cantor.
Thank you, Churchy. I was just going to say, I mean, everyone talks about Roy, don't they, and some of the great talent. But I think maybe Jacks doesn't quite get the credit.
Beginning to.
He's now, isn't he? You're starting to feel he's becoming.
Well, I think with T20, everybody's known what a brilliant white ball player this lad is, and he's had England Lions, and he's played Big Bash as Crocombe's into him, and Jacks turns this one into the leg side. He'll pick up a single, one more to the total. He moves on to 36, 54 for one, and he's playing with a lot of responsibility in the white ball stuff, but it's been the red ball stuff this season. The way he batted at Taunton in both innings was... Yeah, and now he's bowling his off breaks as well, and he's sort of the front line spinner coming in at 6 or 7 in red ball. His whole red ball career's sort of gone off on a different path now, but he's a hugely talented cricketer. As Reefer waits for Crocombe, and it's short, and Reefer, has he got a bottom edge? He has, and Nico Reefer goes without scoring second ball. Just looking to cut that, I think it was more bottom edge, and taken by Rizwan behind the stumps, and Nico Reefer will be desperately disappointed given the opportunity there, and just looking to cut, almost went over the top of it, and that will bring Laurie Evans to the middle, and Surrey 54 for 2.
Yeah, they needed another wicket to try and slow Surrey up here, because they made a positive start, especially with Jacks going so well at the top of the order. But it's good. I'm pleased for Crocombe as well, because he's a young lad. He hasn't always had the best of it at T20. But yeah, bottom edge through, and Rizwan wasn't going to drop that one, was he, with his experience as well. So shame for Reefer. I was quite intrigued to see him bat this evening, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more opportunities for him in this T20 blast. But tonight is not his night. Maybe a glimmer of hope there for Sussex with that wicket from Crocombe.
Well, Laurie Evans out there in the middle. It's had a quiet tournament, actually, Laurie Evans, for him so far. But he's got an opportunity here, in the 6th over, with a job to do. I always say this, Laurie Evans sort of prides himself on getting sides over the line. As Crocombe over the wicket to the right-handed Evans, and he's down the leg side, and that'll be wide signalled. Taken by Rizwan, moving away to his left-hand side. Can I also say thank you to Sussex County Cricket Club for the most fabulous vegetable curry.
Vegetable? Are you vegetarian, Joe?
No, but I thought I'd give it a go.
Give it a go. Nice touch.
And absolutely magnificent.
We're all always very, very well looked after down here at Hove. Credit to the guys.
Crocombe down the slope he comes, and Evans tucks this one to Stephen Finn, who does very well there on the edge of the circle. Mr. Finn got those long legs moving, got his hands down to the ball, and they'll pick up a single, and this will bring Will Jacks back onto strike on 36. And Surrey, just a reminder, chasing 173, 56 for 2, so another 119 required by Surrey. We're in the 6th over, final one of the power play. Crocombe's in, that's short, and that's pulled straight over the top of Tamal Mills at mid-on by Will Jacks, and away for 4. So Jacks will move on to 40, and Surrey move on to 60 for 2. The one thing I would say is his second bat's going quite nicely at the moment.
It is. That was a wonderful strike. What a player this guy is, literally. And I think he's got a lot of different shots in the locker as well. You know, he played those lovely sixes over mid-off, where he just moved his feet into out. That one, lofting it over on the onside. He's got the whole kit and caboodle.
Crocombe's in over the wicket to him, and he's turning this one into the leg side. That's where he's sensible. Hits the boundary, then just knocks the single into the leg side. So moves on to 41 now, Will Jacks. 61 for 2. Scoreboard on the right's got stuck, so we'll stick with the scoreboard on the left. 61 for 2 after 6. Surrey chasing 173 for victory.
So Surrey are 61 for 2 at the end of the power play. Sussex were 46 for 1. So good start this. Current run rate nearly 10, so they're moving along quite nicely here. But saying that, Sussex do have a couple of wickets. And I think Jacks is the key, really. So it's up to Bopara to switch around his attack, maybe try a few different things. Looks like Rawlings is going to come on from the CN as darkness starts to descend. Of course, the nights are closing in now, aren't they? Of course,
They
as
are.
we pass the summer solstice.
You like his friend who gets upset once the first.
Rawlings in, and that's played out on the offside, straight to Bopara.
The Knights.
It's a thing that me and my brother always used to say the day after the summer solstice. Who would say it first? It's like the May the 4th be with you. As Rawlings comes in again, and that's one's nice looking shot, square on the offside, straight out to Finn. He's a few yards in from the boundary, tosses it back into the top of the stumps to find Rizwan. So another single, 62 for 2 now.
Bit Christmas scene.
Don't. You've got to enjoy it while we can.
Football season always starts.
Don't even start there. I haven't even been on my holidays yet. Live cricket though on BBC Radio Sussex, Surrey and London, and on the BBC Sport website as well. Delroy Rawlings good with the bat, not bad with the ball there either, as they angled that one in and it squirts out on the offside from Laurie Evans, another former Sussex player coming back to the county ground, just like Chris Jordan. Laurie Evans, very, very good middle order batsman. I think he did play for Sussex up at the T20 finals day up at Edgbaston a few years ago, as Rawlings goes around the wicket, and that's Jacks just rocking back and playing out there. Nice bit of work from Ravi Bopara, a couple of good stops from the Sussex captain in this last couple of overs.
Well, he loves the T20 final anywhere in the world, Laurie Evans. Normally ends up as man of the match.
Likes the big occasion. Now, that's a big hit, and it's an edge, and it's gone past the man up at short third man, and it's racing away to the boundary. 4 runs there for Jacks. Not quite what he intended. He was trying to loft it over, I think, extra cover, but it's a thickish edge, but the man was up from the boundary, and it goes through for 4. Sorry, 67 for 2.
Yeah, he was trying to hit that in the sea, and that's about 1.5 miles behind us. But
it's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really powerfully, thickly built as well, as Rawlings comes in, response from him, and this calmly just played out by Jacks out to the man on the boundary, out at deep mid-off. That's the end of the 7th over. Sorry, 68 for 2. Jacks approaching his half century on 47. Laurie Evans at the other end on 2.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but his trajectory at the moment, he will definitely play white ball cricket for England. And with his red ball career as well, I think he'll definitely end up at some point playing test match cricket for England as well, because of what he brings with his batting and also with his off-spin bowling now. So, and he's a wonderful fit.
And he fits into the new mould, this new idea that McCullum and Stokes are bringing with a more attacking, positive play. And he's just such a positive player. And, well, you didn't even mention his fielding there, Churchy, and that wonderful catch at the Oval where he took it inside the stumps. I tell you, we've got a sort of squad of seagulls below us. I think they have spotted definitely Harmsy's dinner.
You see that poor man who's being held hostage in his house by a seagull? As in over the wicket, then it's Ravi Bopara with a very slow, wide delivery outside the off stump.
I saw poor old Jack Draper, who was down in Sussex yesterday at the Eastbourne International Tennis. He was being interviewed by Annabelle Croft and actually got hit by a little unfortunate accident on his arm, but he took it so coolly in his post-match interview. It's happened to us all.
Bopara is in over the wicket to Jacks, who slams this one away through extra cover for 4. That'll be his 5th one of the competition so far for Will Jacks. It's coming good time. 51 off 28, 73 for 2. Surrey. And again, Jacks is sort of showing what a good surface this is tonight, but just waited for that one. And he's such a powerful lad. Smashed it away through the covers for 4. As in over the wicket comes Ravi Bopara, and this is whipped leg side by Will Jacks, and he'll pick up a single. Yes, it was on the front of one of the papers I saw, a gentleman leaning out of his window with "I'm being held hostage by a seagull."
I don't read those papers. No, Churchill, I'm afraid. I'm far more highbrow.
Go out the back door, maybe. It would be.
That was a great shot by Jacks. The field didn't have actually that far to go, but he still couldn't get there in time.
As waiting is Laurie Evans. As over the wicket comes Ravi Bopara, and Evans turns this one down towards long on. They'll just pick up a single, one more to the total. Although I say that, I have been on a trip once with my mum where we were staying, I mentioned this the other day, we couldn't get into it because above the porch bit the seagull had laid its eggs, so every time you walked up the pathway you got absolutely bombed by the seagull protecting its babies. as Papara. Over the wicket he comes to Jacks, and Jacks whips this one into the leg side. Just be a single wicket. No, good running. Laurie Evans comes hurling back for the second as Ray Rawlings came round to do the fielding.
That was a little bit like a sort of top spin forehand, that one from Jacks, wasn't it?
Well, there's no pace for Papara, is there?
No, it's just put the right hand through it, just over the top of the ball, keep it low. But good running again from Evans to make that for 2.
96 more needed by Surrey as in comes Papara to Jacks, and Jacks just turns this one into the leg side. That'll roll out towards deep mid-wicket. There is Rawlings. That'll be 1 more to the total, 1 more to Will Jacks. He moves on to 55. Surrey move on to 78 for 2. On to strike comes Laurie Evans. On 3. 25 not out his top score so far in the comp, so it's been a quiet one so far for Laurie Evans as Papara is into him and he's forward, nudging this one down the ground, and just take the single once again.
That's good cricket, isn't it? Just there's no need to, not much in the pace from the bowler to just keep working it.
Yep, end of the over, 8 gone, 79 for 2 then Surrey.
So what they're going at just under 10 and over, so the required run rate, well, looking very comfortable at the moment, really. I don't think they need to do anything silly, but you do need to keep the momentum because you've got that change now. Quite often happens down here at Hove when the darkness starts to descend and you can get a little bit of bit of dewing on the ground. It can be tricky. Floodlights now beaming down here, quite at full pelt. But the crowd, I think, sensing that this could be an interesting finish, but you'd certainly say that Surrey are out there in front at the moment, and it's going to be Rashid Khan to come into the attack or return to the attack from the C end. Can he produce some magic? Right arm over the wicket, that's turned on the onside just in front of square, so it'll be a single to Evans.
They're lively tonight, the old Seagulls.
They are, aren't they? I think maybe there's a fair bit hanging around for them to swoop down and pick up.
We might get the odd delay as they swoop across in front of the line of the batsman.
Days with the test match, you used to get flocks of them out in the outfield as Khan continues, and that's another delivery that's turned on the onside. Similar shot really from Jacks this time, who moves to 56, Evans on 5. Don't forget, you can always contact us, sussexcricket@bbc.co.uk. Maybe you've got a story. Don't forget the cricket show coming back Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Loads of different features, and you can listen back to that interview with Rob Andrew on BBC Sounds as Khan comes in again down the wicket, and it glances off the backside there of Will Jacks. That was hit with some venom. Wonderful shot from the former Sussex man, drills it down the ground. 4 runs to Evans. Sorry, 85 for 2.
It's just lovely footwork from Laurie Evans. His feet made that shot. It sounds a strange thing to say, but he's so positive in his footwork, and if it was going to spin, he took any hint of spin out of it, because he got to the pitch of the ball as it bounced and drilled it straight down the ground for 4. Lovely bit of batting from Laurie Evans.
Good bit of footwork from Will Jacks to get out of the way of it as Khan comes in again, and that's turned behind square on the leg side this time, and this time Papara's just bumped that out to another field and they run through for 2. A little bit sloppy that. Garpin, I think it was, who got the throw in, or was it all out in the deep, but all the same. Actually it was Tamar Mills, so apologies there.
Well, did better than Will Jacks did better than Daryl Mitchell for poor old Henry Nichols today, if you saw that on the test match.
That was quite an incredible dismissal, wasn't it? All available on the BBC Sport website, of course. 2 balls left of the Rashid Khan over, that's on the offside. It's driven out to the man in the deep, which is Steve Finn. He's still got that bandage on his left arm, but it's the right arm that turns it back into the stumps to Rizwan. Starts to go in a little period, a bit of T20 and a bit of county championship action. Of course, every single ball of every single game available on the BBC Sport website for both these sides as Khan comes in to complete the over, and that's respectfully just played back to the bowler. End of the 9th over then, Surrey 88 for 2. Will Jacks unbeaten on 56. Laurie Evans not out 12.
Yeah, and they're just knocking it around at the moment. I think Surrey know this is a good pitch, and I think sort of noticed that the way that Rawlings and Garton batted at the end. And I think the other thing we noticed was the tactics from Sussex at the beginning of their innings, which was don't go too hard. But I think with the the talent they had at the top of the innings, they could have probably gone a bit harder now with what we're seeing. But it made sense. But that run out of Rizwan was absolutely key.
I just think they haven't got the confidence. So they were thinking, let's not lose the game early, whereas actually they may not have gone on and won the game early, and that, unfortunately, it could be a little bit short.
Still in it though.
Yeah.
This run chasers are always interesting things. There's Delray Rawlings, not if you bowl like that to Laurie Evans, because he's just bowled a long hop, which Laurie Evans has swung into the pavilion for 6. So it's not the best of deliveries that from Delray Rawlings, just a long hop. And Laurie Evans said, thank you ever so much indeed. And as I say, swung it into the pavilion for 6. So 94 for 2. This is the 10th over. Rawlings will come round the wicket once again, and that's better because that's a bit quicker on to Laurie Evans. Better length that from Delray Rawlings.
May have kept a little bit low potentially. I think it's just the pace of the ball, maybe.
Mohamed Rizwan is just moving fielders, including the captain. As in round the wicket goes Rawlings. Oh, he's done him again. It's another long hop. This is swung high by Laurie Evans for 6 more, straight into the dugout. And it really is halfway down that. And Delray Rawlings knows Laurie Evans well enough that he knows if he does that to him, it doesn't matter the size of the ground, he's always going to ping you over the boundary rope for 6. So he's on to 24 now, Evans. 100 for 2. As Rawlings in again. And Evans off the back foot just punches into the offside, and Bapara tumbles across to his right, gets a hand to it. He'll pick up another single.
Rawlings is frustrated that his fielders maybe conceded the single, but he's just been hit for 2 sixes. I think he can't make too many complaints, especially this important time of the innings.
And it's the captain. This is short from Rawlings. Well, again, it's just too short, and that'll be hammered by Will Jacks for 4. And he's not giving Ravi Bapara any chance there at extra cover. So he's dropped 3 in, and they've gone for 16 runs here from Delray Rawlings, and that one Jacks has jumped all over and has smashed it away through extra cover for 4. Quite difficult for Ravi Bapara to set a field at the moment.
Yeah, if he doesn't know what his bowler's going to do, this is very, very costly and a crucial part of the game from Delray Rawlings, unfortunately.
Jacks waits over his bat once more on 60 as Rawlings is in. Much better delivery, and this is turned by Will Jacks, but no pressure on him there. Just turns it down the ground for a single. End of the over, 10 gone. Johnny Cantor to pick up the commentary in a moment. He will be joined by the man, the myth, the legend. I can't think of any other big words for you.
I can think of a few. There you go. So midway point, 106 for 2, Surrey, chasing 173 to win. At the midway stage, Sussex were 86 for 1. It was about this time when they started to lose wickets, but you certainly feel, particularly with these two at the crease, going so well. The partnership already over 50, it's 53 now. You would think that if really Sussex need to take 2 quick wickets, it needs to be these two batsmen as well, and that has probably prompted Ravi Bapara to turn to Tamar Mills, who's actually been expensive, but he's going to switch it and come in from the CN, Adrian.
Yeah. Do you think Churchill was taking the mickey then?
No, never. We know, we're myth and legend. I don't know. You could take it both ways. It's up to you which way you want to take it, I think, obviously.
Well, what Sussex need? They need a wicket, because at the minute, they're rather cantering to victory here. Tamel Mills, just his 1 over cost 16. He comes running in and bowls to Will Jackson. Jacks flicks this almost with contempt away onto the leg side, picks up a single footed by George Garton, who gets in the throw.
Playing that shot quite a lot today, and I think that probably shows the pace of the pitch. He's got that ability to just turn the right hand and pull it onto the leg side. I've been really impressed by Will Jackson. Well, I was impressed with him at the Oval. I'm impressed again. Saw the game against Somerset. I just think he's got all the different shots as well. Powerful hitter, tall, imposing, destructive. He's got it all.
Mills with a skip and a jump runs away from us, running up the hill here from the CN, comes in and bowls to Evans, who just works us to backward point, fielded by Rashid Khan. There is no run. There's absolutely no need for Surrey to panic here. They're going along at 10.4 and over. They need to score at 6.8 and over.
And they've done that well, haven't they? They've hit some big hits, but they've also just taken the singles as well. It's good cricket.
Sussex need to take wickets, as you say, Johnny, and Sussex's whole campaign hinges on lose tonight, and that definitely is it. I mean, they're almost certainly out anyway, but lose tonight, And that will be curtains for the T20 campaign for Sussex, as in comes Mills. Around the wicket bowls, and Evans looks to pull that around the leg side, wraps him on the thigh pad. The ball dribbles down in front of him, and there is just a single, a leg by. Total goes up to 107 for 2. Delray Rawlings claps his hand down below, says, "Come on, boys." Down here at long on, inside the circle, there's a short fine leg. A short third man, a backward point and an extra cover.
Good to see Rawlings get some runs. We just want him to go and get that big score.
Yeah, we do.
We know the potential's there. We've talked about it so often. Can he go and fulfil it? Certainly Will Jacks is fulfilling his potential. I think it's now up to Rawlings. And we were saying, he's one of the more senior players now.
Oh, he is.
And he needs to take on that mantle.
As in comes Mills around the wicket bowls, and he's not going to be caught. He's played that ball over backward point. It's going to race away for a couple of runs. Rashid Khan and Ravi Papara tidy up. Slightly fortunate shot there from Will Jacks. Nonetheless, he's deserved that little bit of luck. He goes to 64. And Surrey to 110 for 2 here on BBC Radio Surrey, Sussex, London. If you're watching via the club live stream, I know there's been a few difficulties with the audio. We've done our best to sort that, so apologies if your enjoyment has been disrupted.
Well, that ball just stopped slightly on Jacks there, and he got stuck in the pitch. But I think it's pretty true, and I think, as she was saying, the performances of Garton and Rawlings showed that, and now it's Jackson Evans doing the same.
Mills in again, bowls, and Jacks pulls that one onto the leg side. A couple of bounces, or just one bounce actually, to George Garton. He's very quickly in from mid-wicket, gets in a wild throw, but it's well backed up by Henry Crocombe. One more to Jacks, so just 3, 4, 5 off the over so far. Sorry, 111 for 2. One more ball to go in this, the 11th over. Surrey needing 62 more runs to win. Mr. Mal Mills wanders back to his mark. Surrey unbeaten in the tournament, unbeaten in the county championship. They really are having a wonderful season at the Oval. Mills wheels around and comes into bowl to Laurie Evans, who's on 26 off just 14 deliveries. He's in and bowls, and Evans hammers that down the ground. Now, is he going to get caught? Underneath it is... Oh, it's well caught by Harrison Ward. Hammered the ball down the ground in Laurie Evans. It was in the air a long time, and Harrison Ward had a long way to come round to claim that catch, and it was a very good catch as well, just inches above the ground. So Laurie Evans is on his way. A really important wicket for Sussex, because the game was starting to slide away from the Sharks. Evans gone for 26. Surrey at the end of the 11th over, 111 for 3.
Yeah, really good catch. Had lots of time to think about it. He got himself into the right position in the end. Didn't quite hit it cleanly, did he, Laurie Evans? Still a good innings from him, 26. There it is, that classic number, isn't it? 111 for 3. So often you get wickets, don't you, on that total. But maybe just a chink in the armour. Jack's still at the crease. You'd certainly say that Surrey in control, but that is a bit of a blow to lose Laurie Evans there. And they've got to keep trying to chase wickets, because that's the only way they're going to stop this run rate. They're over 10. Their only required run rate is now 6.9. So it's a case, I think, of you've got to get Jacks slow down the run rate to give yourself a chance. But just good catch.
Yeah, well, it's just talking about Will Jacks. We're talking about, he seems to have been around a long time, Will Jacks. He's made a lot of runs. He's 23. And so when we talk about someone like Delray Rawlings, you've really got to start fulfilling your promise, haven't you?
Delray Rawlings, what? How old is he? 27?
I think Delray's 25 now, 25, I think. But Jacks has been doing it for a number of seasons, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's looked terrific tonight. So, Rashid Khan back into the attack, Johnny. I wonder whether this to do with a couple more wickets here.
Be interesting to see how Jacks plays Rashid Khan here. I think Ravi Bapar has decided, right, we need to just go for it now, get Khan in, we need to get Jacks out. But he's playing so well. He's on 65 not out, and his first one, it's just beaten outside the off stump through to Rizwan. That was perilously close. Suddenly Will Jacks has something to think about. He's made it look so easy so far, but nothing's ever easy when you're facing Rashid Khan. That's why he's one of the best bowlers in T20 cricket in the world. Comes in again, and that's respectfully played forward down to long on by Will Jacks, who's still got the towel bouncing against his backside as he trundles through for a single. So many of these players now have that little towel tucked into the back of their trousers. bowlers and batters as well.
Yes, they do.
I think that one's virtually going to come down. That looks like it's going to disappear, I think, in a minute. But we might trip over it in a minute. But Narine is the new batsman, yet to score, to face up for the first time, the left-hander. And he's gone for it, and it's a lovely clean hit. Square on the onside, sailing over the boundary. What a wonderful strike. He's been brilliant with the ball, and he started with a bang with the bat.
That's not too bad, is it, Johnny? His first delivery he receives, he swings away over mid-wicket for 6, clean as a whistle, off Rashid Khan.
I know, yeah. To do it against, any bowler, but to do it against Rashid Khan, who will not be happy. He's now wiping down the ball with his little towel behind him. What will he do this time? Khan comes in again. He's gone for it and he's bowled him. Well, to try and do it twice, well, maybe that's a little bit optimistic against Rashid Khan. An explosive 6, but now Narine departs. And Sussex have another wicket. Surrey now 118 for 4 in this, the 12th over.
So just a glimmer of hope for Sussex. Narine hitting the 6. 6 and out, as they say, Johnny.
Yeah.
They've lost 4 wickets. I'm just looking here. Sussex were 3 down at the end of the 12th. So that, the wicket's falling, and the thing that would give Sussex hope here. The run rate isn't an issue for Surrey.
No.
And I think that looks like Rory Burns coming out, and I just wonder whether a bit of sort of sensible pushing of 1s and 2s is just what Surrey need here.
Well, just
Churchy's smiling.
You could say, well, why is he going for a big hit? But he's just talked him out the ground, so he's feeling confident. That's the thing about Rashid Khan, though. You don't really get hold of him too much, do you? It was a good delivery.
Rory Burns, I'd imagine, is not in the Premier T20 side for Surrey, but he's
but he's a quality batsman.
He is a quality. This might just be just what Surrey needed. They only need to score at 6.6 and over. They've got 6 wickets in the bin. 55 to win off 8 overs after this.
Yeah, cruising on quite nicely, as you say, in terms of the run rate. Looking around at the field, again, we've got this slight confusion where it seems like Rizwan is picking the field rather than the captain.
Yeah, I'm not in favour. You're right, Johnny.
Rawlins has come in at slip. So let's see what happens here as Burns faces his first delivery. It's squeezed past him. And it goes beyond Rawlins, it goes beyond Mills, and that is 4 runs. Big cheer.
Oh, fielded by the steward. Well done, sir.
Clever work from him. We have had one supporter already catch one of the 6s over on the far side. But, it looked like the right decision initially to bring in the slip there, but it just was squeezed past Delray Rawlins by Rory Burns. He's off the mark. He's on 4. Jack's on 66. Surrey 122 for 4. A reminder, if you're just joining us here on BBC Radio Sussex, Surrey and London, they need 173 to win and continue this wonderful form in this competition. Khan in again. That's just dropped down to the back there by Burns. Scoops it up to give it back to Rizwan. End of the over then, 12 overs gone. Surrey 122 for 4. And, it's still a little bit in this game, I think.
Yeah, I think that in the end it did turn out a bad over for Surrey. Yes, they lost in a rhyme, but by the same token, Sussex conceded 11 runs, and it's another over of Rashid Khan chewed up. So he's now bowled 3 overs. Surrey needing 51 to win in 8 overs. They need to score at 6.4 and over. Sussex goes without saying they're not going to win this unless they can take more wickets. But Jacks is the key man. I guess if they can get Jacks, then maybe there may be a few jitters. But Surrey in a very strong position here as Rawlins comes into bowl to Will Jacks is in and bowls, and Jacks with a beautiful shot through, just back on his stumps and placed it beautifully through extra cover.
I'd just like to say a big thank you actually to everybody who contributed when we were up at the Oval when Churchy decided about the cricketers with 2 first names, and we had such a wonderful response. We were inundated, so I'm going to say an official thank you to everybody on social media who got involved with that one. It was wonderful. So we tried to like and thank everybody, but we probably didn't manage everyone. So this is my official thank you to everybody who's joining in. And of course, you can catch us as well on social media or on Twitter, and that's where you'll find reaction, of course, from this match as well.
Here comes Rawlins to bowl to Rory Burns, and Burns is just forward and just plays very easily to short extra cover, fielded by Garton. There is no one. 123 for 4. Surrey needing a score at 6.5 and over. Rawlins in, bowls, and Burns is down the wicket, and he's stumped, and he's on his way, and that wasn't the smartest bit of batting, I don't think, by Rory Burns. He was down the wicket to Delray Rawlins. Rizwan took a couple of attempts to take off the bails, and I thought Burns might be sort of the steadying ship for Surrey, but he's gone for just 4, and Surrey 123 for 5. Rory Burns disappointed as he makes his way off.
Well, he didn't take it cleanly, did he, Rizwan?
No.
It popped out. He needed a second bite of the cherry, but the juggler got there in the end and whipped off the bails. Burns wasn't able to react quickly enough, and it's another wicket. And who does that bring to the crease? Well, the former Sussex all-rounder, Chris Jordan, back with Surrey now, captaining the side. And well, we know he's experienced with the ball. We know he's been brilliant in the field. He's already got a run out. Now he may well have an important role to play with the bat as well. He has a quick chat with Will Jacks. But it's been a good little spell this for Sussex, coming back into the game. But Jacks, you still feel, is the key. He's on 67. Jordan at the crease to face Delray Rawlins. They'll know each other very well indeed.
Well, they will, and really, Surrey just need to play sensibly here to see themselves over the line. Jacks is still key. He's on 67 or 41, but it's only, well, it's just shy of 7 and over now. But just the 5 wickets left now, so every time it looks as if Surrey are on course, when suddenly Sussex seem to get a wicket. Rawlins just wants a change in the field. He's moving his sweeper on the cover boundary just a little wider. As in comes Rawlins, bowls Chris Jordan, and Jordan just plays it straight back down the track, fielded by Rawlins. Then there is no run. I think Chris Jordan will be quite happy just to see this over out. Just have a natter away to Will Jacks. 2 more balls remaining in the over. Good over so far from Rawlins, just conceding the 1 run. He's in again and bowls, and Jordan works this through the offside. Look how quickly he's off Chris Jordan. They'll come back for the second. They'll need to be quick. The throw comes in from Steve Finn. That's a good bit of running by Chris Jordan. Just put pressure on the field as Steve Finn had to move to his left, and Chris Jordan was always after 2, and he's like a hair between the wickets. Is Chris Jordan. Excellent piece of running despite the throw from Finn. Jordan to 2. Surrey to 125 for 5. My glasses, Johnny, or are those numbers a little bit blurred? Oh, that's better. Just adjusting my glasses. Yes. I can see a bit better.
I think so. You need to put them over your eyes.
Yes, I do. That's probably the key.
That generally helps.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Well, I'm so using my eyesight. You have to dip down for the readers as well.
Yeah.
So. And it is a bit tricky sometimes in this twilight, I'll give you that.
Rawlins in bowl to Jordan, who gets a leading edge. The ball finds its way to backward point. That's a good over by Delray Rawlins, in which he just conceded the 3 runs. You could probably hear the applause around the county ground here at Hove. So, there are 7 overs remaining. Surrey are 125 for 5. They need 48 more runs to win in 7 overs. They need to score those runs at 6.9 and over. You would think Surrey are in the box seat, but another couple of wickets, and we could be in for an interesting finish.
Well, a lot of people have talked about Sussex's campaign. You've got to say that Delray Rawlings' bowling, I think, in this competition has been a success. They've often used him first up, first over. He gets through his balls very, very quickly. Low trajectory, can fizz it in quickly. He's picked up some key wickets on occasion as well. So, they need him to turn into the real key all-rounder, because with him and Garton in the side, it provides options for Ravi Bopara, who's going to come into the attack from the Cromwell Road end to replace Rashid Khan. And Jacks hasn't faced too many balls recently, actually, and he's seen his partners disappear, so it'll be interesting to see how he approaches the 14th over from the Sussex captain, who trundles in. That kept a little bit low, but he kept his eye on it well there, Jacks, who squirted out onto the offside, just behind square. It'll be an easy second. Don't get too many 2s here at the county ground. We've seen some big grounds and big boundaries in this competition, but you never really get it here.
3 is very, very unusual, Johnny, isn't it? It's but that's all really Jacks needs to do here, isn't it? Just work the ball around.
As you say, just over 6 and over. Wait for the odd loose delivery that may come your way. As Bopara comes in, that isn't a loose delivery, but it's forced that extra cover, and it's a mistake in the field. Not what you want there at that kind of point in the game, do you? He's frustrated, slaps his hands together. Wonderful to see the Rashid Khan Foundation doing some work to try and raise money for everything that's happened out in Afghanistan, and a worthy cause. Terrible what's happened in that country over the last week or so, and we wish everybody well. And once again, Rashid Khan showing what a humble, sympathetic person he is. As Papara comes in once more, this time to Jordan. That's short on the offside. He just dabs it down. It will go to Crocombe. And fizzes it back into Rizwan. So just a single, 129 for 5 now. Jacks has moved to 70. Jordan on 3. Listening to BBC Sussex, BBC Surrey, and BBC London, and on the BBC Sport website. There'll be reaction in our respective breakfast shows tomorrow. There's Papara trying to find a wicket. Trundles in. That's kept a little bit low, but once again, Jacks fielding it away to long on. Just sauntering through for a single. So the run rate slowed somewhat, but they'll be quite happy and quite content. They still need 43 to win, though.
Yeah, so it's 5 off the over, Johnny. They need to, the scoreboard showing they need to score at 6.8. You just feel there might be a big over in here somewhere for Surrey.
And that's all it's going to probably take. So, Papara, 2 balls left of the over. Still quite bright, but the floodlights are on, and that's turned down leg side.
It's a wide.
Oh dear, that is frustrating.
Good take that by Rizwan, wasn't it?
Smart work with the gloves. And just when you're trying to apply a bit of pressure, build a bit of pressure against Surrey, come up with that. Jordan didn't really have to do anything, really, just quite happy to see that. So 131 for 5 now, Surrey. Papara once more. What will he respond with here? And that's Jordan just putting it out square on the offside. Didn't need to put too much effort into that one. Crocombe the man to field once again. Jack's back on strike. He's on 71.
So what's that? That's the 6 off the over that they need. In fact, that's 7 off the over.
Yes, of course, we had the wide as well. So we'll see what Jacks does here. He doesn't need to keep the strike. He's got an experienced old hand at the far end. And these two will want to see the job done themselves if they can, as Papara completes his over. And that kept low. A big shout there, but it's going down the leg side, and it will be a dot ball. So end of the 14th over, Surrey 132 for 5. Jack's unbeaten on 71. Jordan not out on 4. And if these two stay together, you certainly feel Surrey will win this game and continue their unbeaten run in the T20 Blast. But with 6 overs to go, they still require a few more. 173 to win. They're on 132 for 5. Taking you through to the close, Mark Church and Adrian Harms.
Thanks, Johnny. So, Delray Rawlings is going to be entrusted with the next over. He's bowled a tidy enough spell, 3 overs, 1 for 28. You just get the feeling, though, with these, certainly with the experience of Chris Jordan out there, that Surrey won't want this to go to the wire, because all of a sudden in these overs, you can suddenly find yourself needing 6 and over, 7 and over, 8 and over. And I think Chris Jordan will just be mindful here that sensible batting, but they won't want to find themselves getting behind too much, as Rawlings is on his way in and Chris Jordan pulls away. And now he settles again. 4 or 5 deliveries for Chris Jordan as Rawlings is in and bowls and swept by Chris Jordan. Came off the pad, the ball bounces. Mohammed Rizwan can hardly run, you know. He's running out to field the ball at mid-wicket. Church, you said you thought he was injured. And he's certainly hobbling quite badly, the Pakistan wicket-keeper. He's walking okay, but he's struggling to run. I think that was a leg bar, but I didn't see the umpire's signal in the end. I think it must have been because Chris Jordan's remaining on 4. Now, I just wonder whether Will Jacks might just fancy getting down the wicket to Rawlings here. 6.9 and over is the required run rate. Well, I say totally won't want to get out. Rawlings in bowls, and Jacks thrashes that away through the offside. That's a super shot. Well, it was just too short from Delray Rawlings, and that kind of releases all the pressure, Churchy, because the pressure was just starting to build. Then he thumps the second ball of the over for 4 runs. He goes to 75, and Surrey to 137 for 5.
Yeah, the other thing that Will Jacks will be thinking is what happened against Somerset 2 nights ago. Surrey have almost made a Horlicks of this when they didn't need to, but But thankfully for them, Will Jacks is still there, so he'll want to get this done as quick as possible.
Rawlings in bowls to Jacks, who works this through the offside. They've taken one, they'll think about two. I don't think there's a second there. Finn is in very quickly at deepish extra cover, gets in the throw. One more to Jacks, he goes to 70. This has been a high-class innings. I mean, the 2 sixes over extra cover were probably the shots of the tournament for me. I mean, they were amazing shots, and it's probably the longest boundary on the ground as well.
No, and the thing he's doing is he's having to be responsible here as well, and he had to do this on 2 nights ago, because as I say, Surrey have sort of made a bit of a haulix of this run chase. They were going along very nicely with Laurie Evans and Will Jacks.
Yes.
And Laurie Evans sort of got himself out.
Rawlings in bowls to Jordan, who plays this one back to the square on the leg side. They've taken one, fielded by Mills, and that's all they'll take.
So Neil Narine, you know that's going to happen. That's the way he plays. He's not going to have much of a look, and he didn't tonight. So that's going to happen. Lovely googly from Rashid Khan with the next one to bowl him. And then Rory Burns, I thought Rory Burns would exactly just stick around and nudge it around the place, but coming down the pitch and stump. So, yeah, it's a good job for Surrey that Will Jacks is playing as responsibly as he is at the moment.
Rawlings in bowls to Jacks, who's caught behind, and Jacks has gone. Caught by Rizwan off the bowling of Delray Rawlings. So the big wicket, as far as Sussex are concerned, Jacks goes for 76, and Surrey now 139 for 6. Will Jacks slaps his bat into his pad as he wanders off. It's been a wonderful innings by Will Jacks, but he'll be really annoyed that he's got out at this stage of proceedings. Nonetheless, Sussex with just a glimmer of hope, and another wicket for Delray Rawlings is doing a good job here for Sussex. 139 for 6, 5.1 overs remaining. Surrey only needing 34 to win, but they've only got 4 wickets left, and a good round of applause for Will Jacks. Good to see that, because that was a classy innings.
Now it gets interesting. Will Jacks is obviously annoyed.
Yeah.
But what I would say is Will Jacks can't do it every time.
No.
And here he's played really, really well. And he's sort of probably in the back of his mind, as I say, was thinking what happened the other night. But now it gets interesting, because Gus Atkinson, Conor McCurr, Dan Worrell and Dan Moriarty. So Jordan becomes crucial here for Surrey. But, Gus Atkinson's a good player. But there's a bit of pressure. But a wonderful innings that for me from Will Jacks. And I can see he's cross and angry, but he's done all he can. He can't do it on his own every week.
Rawlings comes in, bowls to Atkinson down the leg side. There's going to be a leg by. Sussex has got a slip in place. They know they need wickets here. It's given a wide. So there will be an extra ball and an extra run. So Surrey to 141 for 5, 32 needed to win. 5 overs after this one. Ray Lawrence had a good match, hasn't he? Made 33, he's taken a couple of wickets. He's in and bowls, and Jordan is forward. Prosett at the outside. Oh, it's going to be run out! Chris Jordan is run out, he does go! Jordan's gone. Brilliant bit of fielding by Ravi Bopara. Well, I think it was a poor call by Chris Jordan. He played it into the offside. Atkinson sent him back. I think that was the right thing. Bopara rattled in the throw to Rizwan, who whipped off the bails. And as Churchy was saying, Surrey are just making a little bit of a hard work of this. 141 for 7. Jordan's gone, and now 2 new batsmen at the crease.
Hard work. They're making a right old mess of this now. They really are. And Chris Jordan there just set off. I don't think there was a single there. And Gus Atkinson sent him back. So here comes Conor McCurr now. But yeah, they are making a bit of a mess of this, Surrey, at the moment. And Sussex now have a really good chance of pulling this one out the fire, because you've got Conor McCurr out there who, of course, hit that final ball for 4.
Yeah.
But this is a bit different now. It was brilliant from Conor McCurr, but it was something of a free hit for him, really. Now there's still 32 to go. So him and Gus Atkinson have got a job to do here, but very good from Sussex. Very, very good from Sussex. But I think Surrey, at the moment, will be looking at this thinking, hang on, just a second here. Have we got ourselves into this position?
So it's going to be Bopara who's back into the attack. Church. It's one of those Surrey lead 32 off 5 overs, but 2 new batsmen, neither of whom have scored yet.
Exactly. And it's Ravi Bopara and Neil Diamond here at Hove. As in over the wicket comes Bopara to Atkinson, swing and a miss from Gus Atkinson. Ravi will take all the pace off this. there are times with Ravi these days that I wonder if he needs to bother running in. Because it takes so long to get down there. But it's canny stuff for Ravi Bopara. But that was a terrific knock from Will Jacks. But he wanted to be there at the end and finish it. As in over the wicket comes Bopara, and Atkinson, nicely played into the leg side. He'll just get a single though for Gus Atkinson. And for me here now, Sussex are favourites because they can put some pressure on Surrey here, and these lads haven't been in this position very often. So this is sort of new territory in many ways.
5 for 30, Surrey lost.
Yep, absolutely. It made a right old mess of it as Ravi Bopara comes bustling in over the wicket to Conor McCurr, who's forward and plays this first ball straight back up the pitch. The other thing is the crowd are into this now as well. They were very quiet for a while, but we've all been to Hove enough times to know the atmosphere here is absolutely electric. And they're into the game now. 142 for 7, 31 more required by Surrey. As Bopara is in, and that's nicely played by Conor McCurr. Out there towards deep backward square. He'll take a single, will Conor McCurr, and get off the mark. 143 for 7.
Just looking who's got what left to bowl. Rashid has crucially got one more over to bowl. Tamal Mills has got 2. Bopara could bowl another one after this. This is just his third, so plenty of options for Bopara.
And over the wicket again comes Ravi Bopara to Gus Atkinson, who's driving thick edge, and it's going to be the 2 men, one at short third and one at backward point. He could not have edged that any better, Gus Atkinson, because it split the 2 fielders perfectly. And away for 4, and Gus Atkinson moves on to 5, and Surrey need 26 more runs to win here, and we're in the 16th over.
That was a big boundary, that, you know. You felt if maybe they hadn't got a boundary off this over, the pressure's going to build more. It's just eased a little bit of the pressure on Surrey. Good game though, Churchy.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game. As waiting once again is Gus Atkinson as Bopara's into him. Slower ball. Has he got an edge on it? He has. He's caught behind. Great catch from Rizwan. Gus Atkinson looking to drive. I think it was inside edge. And it's a wonderful bit of work from Rizwan, who's not moving terribly well, but he managed to get his gloves to it and grab it on the second attempt. So now Sussex are firm favourites. Gus Atkinson has gone, and Surrey are 147 for 8.
That's extraordinary. Sussex have lost 6. Surrey have lost 6 for 36, I reckon. Look like they're absolutely cruising to victory. Well, Tamal Mills is going to come back in. So 26 to win. They only need to score at 6.5 and over. The problem is they've only got 2 exits. Now who's coming in now? Dan Worrell.
Yeah.
Now he looks like he hits a long ball. Dan Worrell.
He does. Yes. It might not be what Surrey need at this point.
Right. No.
But he certainly does. It's a very long ball.
This reminds me a little bit of the game down here a couple of weeks ago when Gloucester were playing Sussex. Get my counties out right. And Sussex absolutely blew a game they should have won, and I think Surrey might reflect if they lose this that they probably should have won this.
Yes.
And they still might. We'll have to see. It's a good game, and that's the crowd have come on a lovely evening to see some good cricket, and it's exactly what we've seen. Mills is going to run in from this, the C end of the ground, coming to bowl to Conor McCurr. He's in and bowls, and McCurr is going to be caught at mid-off, and another wicket goes down. McCurr is caught at mid-off by Harrison Ward. Well, would you believe it? McCurr goes, Mills gets a wicket. McCurr wanders off, he can't believe he's played that shot. And Surrey are now 147 for 9.
Well, interestingly, a couple of nights ago they got away with it, Surrey, with Conor McCurr driving the last ball for 4. But again, they got completely lost on the run chase there, and they've got lost tonight as well. And I think, Surrey, we sat in that dugout at the moment thinking, what on earth has gone on here? Yes. But Sussex, fair play to them, they've just hung in there, really.
Well, they have, because they were down and out, really.
When Evans and Jacks
111 for 2 after...
It was game done.
Yeah, 10.5 overs.
It was absolutely game done with those 2 out in the middle on a good pitch, batting beautifully, game done. Then Laurie Evans went, and sort of the whole run chase got a bit lost.
Yeah.
And Surrey is staring down the barrel of the first defeat of the season now.
They are. They've lost 7 for 36 of Surrey. You never know with T20 cricket. It's a funny old game. So, Dan Moriarty is in. In comes Samuel Mills. Comes in the bowls to Moriarty. He's a big swish outside the off stump. Is he caught behind? No, he isn't. The crowd thought momentarily. What does Moriarty do here? Does he try and give the strike to Worrell, or?
Interesting. I'm not quite sure. I think really he's just got to try and put bat on ball if he can, Dan Moriarty, because there's still plenty of time to get these 26 runs. But this is different now because of a collapse like this. Brains are scrambled.
Mills on his way. His tail will be up to Mel Mills. He's in and bowls, and Moriarty's going to get a run. Down to third man.
Ow. Can you get a run off your abdominal guard? I think it's been leg by, but I think he's literally used his abdominal guard there to knock it down to third man for a single, was Dan Moriarty. That would have woken him up. I suppose it doesn't matter how they get them.
No, 25 need only one wicket, loads of overs, which is the crazy thing. It just goes to show from a Sussex perspective, you know, that defeat against Gloucestershire we thought was so important, and you know, they've still got a lot to do, obviously, haven't they? But in comes Mills, over the wicket bowls, and Worrell works us to backward point, fielded there by Rashid Khan. There is no run.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because Surrey and everything have been so good this season, but there was a warning sign a couple of nights ago, and they sort of got away with that one. And tonight they were cruising, absolutely cruising, and then they've just lost their way in this run chase. And as I say, they're staring down the barrel here. It would take something brilliant from Worrell and Moriarty.
It would. So need 25 to win as in comes Mills running up the hill. Away from us, he's in and bowls, and Worrell plays that pass backward point. An athletic dive by Rashid Khan. He dives over the top of the ball. But it's a single. Run rate required goes up to 7.6.
Darrow Rawlings has found time for a photo there. That's excellent. With the gentleman who's brought his Chennai Super Kings MS Dhoni IPL shirt. So that's nice, isn't it?
149 for 9 are Surrey. 24 needed to win, and there are 3 overs left after this one. Is that right? Yes. In comes Mills to bowl to Moriarty. He's in a bowl down the. Oh, that rat's on the hand. Now, if he'd have let that go, that would have been a wide. Nonetheless, played onto the onside. He kept the ball out. It's a good over by Samuel Mills, which just cost the 2 runs and a wicket. And Hove is alive, and they think Sussex could be on course for their 4th win at the T20.
Well, they should be. As I said, take a miracle here for Moriarty and Worrell, winning 24 off 3. And thank goodness for Dan Moriarty, that was Tom Elmill's slower ball as well, because that could have been his spinning fingers gone there. But 149 for 9. Surrey have been absolutely terrific so far this season, and Will Jacks, you know, he's played beautifully there for 76, and he'll be annoyed that he wasn't there at the end. But at times you can't do it all on your own.
Nope.
And I think, you know, he might be having a quiet word with some others around him.
Yes, sure.
149 for 9 then, and Rashid Khan it is. Getting ready to come in over the wicket to Dan Worrell, and Worrell just flat bats this down the ground towards long on. Now the interesting thing here is there's 17 balls to go, and Surrey need 23 to win. Now, if they just knock this over around for singles and take 6 off it and then find a boundary from somewhere else, they don't actually, these two, need to do anything spectacular.
No.
But it's very easy to say that from here.
And Rashid Khan bowling.
And exactly. So I think here with Rashid Khan, it's just get through the over, because something spectacular could still happen at the other end. But I wouldn't go charging and looking to stick Rashid Khan over the side screen. 150 is up with that single as Rashid Khan is in. Oh, here we go. Dan Moriarty shot, sir. Oh, slog sweet, 1 bounce for 4. I should have shut up.
That nearly went to 6.
Wow, that is a heck of a shot from Dan Moriarty. Slog sweet, 1 bounce for 4. Well, there's the 4 we were talking about from Dan Moriarty. And 154 for 9. So this would be spectacular from a Surrey point of view. 154 for 9. Unfortunately, both scoreboards have now broken down.
It's not great when the scoreboard packs up, is it?
I might have to do some manual scoring here. Oh, there we are. There, it's back. 154 for 9. It's been rebooted.
Yes.
And
Can't beat a reboot.
Turn it off. Turn it on.
Yeah.
As in comes Rashid Khan again to Moriarty, who's turning this one into the leg side, out there towards deep backward square. As the throw comes in, so 18 required now. And the interesting thing with this is that there are 15 balls remaining.
Plenty of balls.
Oh, absolutely. Another boundary at some point would make it very interesting. It's Dan Worrell back on strike here. As over the wicket comes Rashid Khan to Worrell, and Worrell sensibly played, just defends this out into the offside as Ravi Bapara comes round to do his fielding. Say what you see. 155 for 9. That was the little buzzer noise from Catchphrases. In over the wicket once again comes Rashid Khan and pushed away again by Worrell. Moriarty's come halfway down, but there's definitely not a run there.
Last ball of Rashid Khan. This is important.
Well, they've played this over very sensibly.
Yeah.
They really have. Boundary early and then just see him out as Rashid Khan is into Worrell. And that's hello, that's a short one. Has that got an edge? They've gone up for caught behind, but no, it just took off at Dan Worrell, and it was a good bit of work from Rizwan. And well, it's a dot ball, so there are 2 overs to go, and Surrey require 18 to win. 155 for 9. Great.
Do you have a little bit of
Oh, I love a bit of this.
Sussex haven't had a lot to cheer, let's be honest, this season. So it'd be rather nice if they could fit. Tamel Mills walked very purposefully to his mark and he sort of threw his cap down as if to say, right, this is it. I'm going to win it for Sussex in this over. He looks really up for it, actually, doesn't he?
No,
he wants a change. He wants a change in his field. He's saying, come on, he wants his fine leg back. He wants his third man up. He was getting a bit annoyed, Tamel, because they weren't doing it. Anyway, he's coming in to bowl to Dan Moriarty. Running in, over the wicket. Moriarty wait. He's in and bowls. Short Moriarty attempts to pull, but he's, beaten all ends up. Now, Tamel Mills is just looking at the scoreboard here because I think Sussex are fine in terms of time, actually. 21.
To be honest with you, these days, I don't know what, because the Surrey weren't, according to the scoreboard, and they got away with it.
So is it 21.53?
Yeah, and it says 21.54. The last over has to start by 21.54.
Right, okay.
They're never going to get there.
In comes Mills with a little skip. Comes in and bowls to Moriarty. He's in and bowls. Slow delivery, and Moriarty plays it to the offside. They're going to go for a single. Bapara's in, he shies the stumps. Hits the stumps and he's out. What? Ravi Bapara, one stump to hit. That's exactly what he does. Dan Moriarty is run out. Sussex have come from absolutely nowhere to win this match. They've inflicted on Surrey their first defeat of the season, not only in T20 cricket they haven't lost, but also in the Championship they haven't lost either. But tonight, Surrey have rather capitulated. They were going along so nicely, 111 for 2. They've been bowled out for 155. So the unbeaten run is over, and Sussex have won their 4th game in the competition. Qualification still looks an outside bet, but you never know.
Well, all I would say is that run out down Moriarty in many ways summed up how Surrey had lost their way in the run chase, because he didn't even run his bat in there, Dan Moriarty. He was sort of keeping an eye on where the ball was going, didn't even run his bat in, and Ravi Bapara, dead-eye Dick, hits the stumps. Well done to Sussex. That they have pulled that out the fire. I think Surrey will sort of sit in the dugout and go, how on earth did we manage that? But well done to Sussex, and a great evening here at Sussex, and there is the old Sussex by the sea. How marvellous.
Yeah, well, you're very gracious as ever, Churchy. I'm going to make my way over to get some reaction from the Sussex camp. I'm sure there'll be plenty who'll want to talk this evening, having won tonight. I think we're going to get a bit of Delray Rawlings, because he was instrumental in winning that game, was Delray. So I'm going to leave with Churchy and Johnny with you. Just a couple of teams have handed the headphones over.
Well, I think Surrey will sort of just say to themselves, there were warning signs on a run chase 2 nights ago, and then it sort of all fell apart this evening. But when Jackson Evans were together, the game was over. It was done. And then Laurie Evans looked to go down the ground big and got caught. And then Narayan, that's the way Narayan plays, and you know that with Narayan. Then Rory Burns sort of came down the pitch and got stumped, and then all the pressure was heaped back onto Will Jacks, and you can't do it every week if you're Will Jacks, and absolutely he shouldn't take any. He'll be sat there thinking I should have taken the side over the line, but I don't really think that's the case at all, because he sort of didn't get support from the other end, and then it all falls apart, and sort of Sussex get on their roll, and then, as I said, I think that run out of Dan Murray after sort of summed it up, because he wasn't even looking to run his bat in. No, he's just watching Ravi Bopara and where the ball was going. Direct hit, and fair play to Sussex, and Surrey suffer a first loss of the season.
I've got to say, another great T20 Blast game, really close finish, some brilliant, powerful batting, some brilliant fielding, 2 run-outs, Chris Jordan and also Ravi Bopara. I've got to say, I thought Rizwan was excellent as well.
He was great
good
behind the stumps as well. He didn't look 100% either, but he took his catches when he needed to. So well done to Sussex. No great disaster for Surrey, of course. They're in such a good position and they've already qualified for the quarterfinals. But I think it will be a bit of a wake-up call. I think it will be and I think there are some warning signs there a couple of nights ago.
They're certainly not at full strength. We know that they've had to make wholesale changes, haven't they? Of course, and lost so many of their England stars. But it's victory for Sussex. They're back on track. They're still going to have to win all 3 of their remaining games, and of course, every single one of them will be live on BBC Radio Sussex, on digital radio, and of course on the BBC Sport website. There's plenty happening elsewhere. Somerset trying to chase down 209 to win, but with just over 3 overs to go, they require another 39 runs. That's against Hampshire. All still to play for in those positions in the South Group in terms of those top 4 places. Meanwhile, Essex have beaten Middlesex at Lords, so Middlesex 140 for 8 off 20 overs in reply to Essex's 161 for 6. It's been an enthralling game here. Don't forget there'll be plenty of reaction on our Twitter feed at BBC Sussex Sport. I'm sure on the Surrey Cricket tagline as well, at Surrey Cricket too. But you can also get some reaction tomorrow from Alison Ferns and Breakfast from 6 o'clock, but do check out that, and don't forget the cricket show coming up on Tuesday 9 o'clock. Plenty of things to discuss and plenty of features there involving both Sussex, Surrey as well. And if you've got a story, don't forget you can get in contact with us, sussexcricket@bbc.co.uk or sussexsports@bbc.co.uk if you want to get involved as well. As we say a farewell from here at Hove as the supporters come onto the pitch to watch a very rare Sussex victory. Maybe, just maybe, they've still got a chance of making it through to the quarterfinals. Surrey know they're on their way. Will they both be at Edgbaston later on in the summer? We shall see. But from everyone here, from Adrian Harms, from Mark Church and myself, Johnny Cantor, thanks very much for listening.
And ground staff at Heathrow have both of the GMB and Unite unions want the airline to reverse a 10% pay cut which was imposed during